SSR.
Yes, yes, yes. What is up, beautiful people? Welcome to How to Trade, formerly known as That Midday Show. That is Agrila Dara, and I'm Sharif. And we already have Big Kyle Burdett in the chat. He's waiting, and he's short the ES, baby. We also have the Sofa Monster and Mateus Lane, baby. I see you, OG Darwin. Easy Trader there. Max Trade and Investing. Ronaldo, Charlie Taff. Ponze, Fonze, Big Bob Dub, Sebastian, and we got Damn! Yo, to you two as well. Snowman, Trinity 3R, we got Andrew Chow, we got Draco. We got MVP, New One, Fiddleback, Michael, Carter, Cairo, Convicted. Oh, what are you convicted of, bro? Solo, Crystal, Pillsbury, Big James Dell as well, Charlie D, and 509 Blackjack. I do like that name.
I like that.
I like Blackjack. It's a good game. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you this fine morning? I know you're a
bad.
little bit disappointed about the Prem.
Yes. Arsenal, you know, we're going to have to go into the final week because City got lucky. Let's just put it that way. I'll go on my Prem rant later, but I want to talk about this Amazon trade here, and I want to talk about some other things that are popping off right now because I was looking at the soft one for 420, and that's no longer a level. So this is my trade here on Amazon. It's down a percent and 2/3 right now, and it has been doing the dance with the volume weighted average price, and it's losing that dance right now, or that whatever. It's not doing well with that dance. So anyway, it came into VWAP multiple times here, 10 o'clock, again at 10:05. You guessed it, 10:10 as well, and yeah, 10:15. Then we drop down, we hold that $0.50 at 183, make our way back up to VWAP. And yet again on Amazon, we do reject that level, so I did get short there. I covered a little too early, I think. I think we're headed back down, maybe back into that $0.50, 183.5 would be my price target. This other trade that I was looking at, the soft one, look at this possible double top here at 420. You have wicks north of 420, but the closing prints were all in and around that area. But here we go. Now that double top is no longer in my purview, as now we're moving on up into that 420 and 2/3. Keep your eye out for Softy today. For whatever reason, it's strong, 1.13%, breaking through that key $10 level at 420. The last trade I want to talk about that I was looking at here as I sat down, Meta 50 period on the 5. So it danced with it early, 950. We have a closing print very close to that 50 period, but this isn't what I was looking at here. You know, this is more liquid, and you're going to get these perfunctory breaks of the level. This is now what I'm looking at. Look at all these bounces. What's going on over there, Katina, man? Perfunctory. Ah. I should be more alive to that. Yes, this is what I'm looking at right here, this 473 level, jiving with the 50 period on the 5, and you're getting these dips down and then bounces back up. A bit of a range, you could say, between the volume weighted average price at 474 and the 50 period at 473 on the 5. So $1 range right now on META, you can play that, but be careful because we all know Meta, his nickname is Spreada because that spread is awfully annoying, Adair, but I do know that you were in a trade that you're going to want to talk about.
I do actually. Thank you for that transition there. And yeah, shout out to your Amazon trade. Sharif Cap was like, oh, the Zon. So he was in the Zon there on that. So shout out to Sharif. I'm in AMD, still have half the position in. If we break decisively below 157.80s here, I'll probably cut it off. But basically got involved because I liked that we had that pullback and then we bounced a little bit of the doji candle. Then furthermore, I said, you know, we have these wicks to the downside at that 157.45-esque, you know what I mean, around that area that we popped up into at the open. So I said, there are levels I can play off here. Got involved at 69, said if we break below 44s decisively, I'll get out. We got to 44s a couple times and bounced. And I said, you know what, Adara? I think you just got to stay in this. So I didn't leave. Patience, conviction, what words you want to use. Got involved, stayed involved, took out some of the profit because I noticed we were really struggling around that 158 area. So I said, Adara, take half your profit and say bye-bye. I want to see some more above 158. I don't know if we'll get that, but that's the goal. Also, I had a bad trade on GME I want to talk about for a second. So this initially, I want to clarify, the moral of this story is don't get too attached. GME, I liked the area around 34s, and I watched it, and I wasn't hasty enough, tried to get involved. By the time I got involved, it was already like, I'm going to take my move up to 35. But I was like, I said, oh, you know what? If it did that once, it can do it again. No, it couldn't do it again. Lost a little bit on this, so I am down on the day. But you know, mostly happy with how I managed it. The biggest issue is I shouldn't have gotten involved in the first place once I saw we left that level. Not trying to make that mistake twice. Let's get this bread, AMD. If you want to fall below 157.80s, I'm gonna have to say bye-bye.
All right, I want to cover a couple of more topics here. Well, not topics, names. Apple, we've all been watching this. We all saw the Katina man ride this one into 190 today, and that's exactly where the HOD is at the moment. 189.96, right at resistance level 2 on pivots. We're topping out there. You know, if I had my guess, and that's what it is, just a guess, that we hold below 190 today, acting as that level of resistance. We'll see. We'll see what comes, but I'll be looking for a 190 touch and drop. So we'll see Apple 190. Keep your eye on that. Keep your eye as well on this 173.5 to 174 bottom for whatever reason here on the Cybertruck, where this is the hockey stick shape. Drop, then sideways. Like a big boy drop there right at the open, even though it was moving nicely there in the pre, breaking through 180, but that was quite short-lived. You see these big boy 5-minute candles here. Now Tesla down 2%, the worst of the Mag 7 performers on the day. But there is a range to be had here. For whatever reason, it's ranging 174.5 to the high side, and you could make the case 173.25 to the downside. Doesn't make it into that 173.25 every time. It's more like 173.5. So I would say, you know, at its best, $1.25 range, but for the most part, it's about $1 range there. So we'll keep eyes on TSLA and see if we can get anything going there. We have a couple of minutes before we're going to start the lesson. So I want to also cover the small cap gappers. Now, chief among them is going to be AMC and GME. And I want to make one quick observation here. I'm looking at the 5, and as you can see here, AMC has had this magnetic effect on the 5 with the 10 period. The retracements, the majority of them, have come into that 10 period moving average. You have the odd one that'll touch the 50, like this one over here at 930, but that was in the more liquid. I mean, this is the IB high, essentially, the 660 high on AMC. It looks like, you know, we're trying to hold 5 at this level. We'll wait and see if we get a curl off 5, but we've already broken through it on the day. 471 LOD. GME, kind of the same thing as AMC, hugging that 10 period on the way down. There's been a few more retracements into that 20, but it's a take your pick. It's either a retracement into the 10 or a retracement into the 20. The 20 are more, they're more, you know, they occur less, is what I'm trying to say uneloquently there. So I'm looking, if I don't have any shorts on either GME or AMC, but if I'm looking short on both these names until I see some sort of change in the trend. And the trend is quite obvious to me here. It is lower highs and lower lows starting from 4 a.m. onwards. And this was doing volume at 4 a.m., right? So what's it called? The trend has not changed on some of these bad boys here. About a minute till I got to do the read. I'm looking also at LIDR. We've been watching LIDAR do its thing, you know, for a while now. It's been one of the names that's been running. Today, 458 HOD, trying to stay above VWAP here, doing its darndest at 375 to remain above the volume weighted average price. We'll have to keep eyes on LIDR. AWIN also showing up on my scanner today. It was tradable, that is, until about 1 second ago when it broke down decidedly here below the volume weighted average price, which is hanging out at that $6.60 area. It's been putting in lower highs, maybe flat top breakdown coming in right now, guys. But it is Blue Chew time? Is it Blue Chew time? It is Blue Chew time. All right, guys. We are brought to you by that company known as Blue Chew. Guys, do you remember the good old days when you were always ready to go? Well, those days don't have to be over. Blue Chew is an online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, Levitra, but in a convenient chewable tablet and at a fraction of the cost. So sign up at bluechew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and you'll receive your prescription discreetly delivered to your door within days. No awkward doctor visits, no waiting in line at the pharmacy. Blue Chew's tablets are made in the good old USA and shipped directly to you. And we've got a special deal for you. Try Blue Chew free when you use promo code TraderTV at the checkout. Just pay $5 for shipping. So visit bluechew.com and use that promo code TraderTV for that $5 special deal there. Shout out to the good folks at Blue Chew. Adair.
Indeed. Shout out to Blue too. I got out of AMD. I'm happy I got it where I did. I said I don't want anything below 80, so sometimes you just have to secure, you know, Obi talks about, shout out to Obi talking about preserving the mental. That is the word I want. And I was trying to preserve the capital, which is why I got out where I did. 10 penny scalp for the rest of that position. So still down on the day due to GME life choices. But you know what? You can always make other life choices. That's what's great about life. AMD, if you keep bouncing around this 9 EMA, I'll probably scalp you a little bit more. And those would be quick scalps, enough size, you know, to get out of bed for, you know what I mean? Like little scalpy scalps. Tesla though, I liked that range as well, so I appreciate you calling out this range on my pal Cybertruck. Right now though, this range is getting tighter and tighter, so if we keep projecting around 174.20s, initially I was trying for 174.28s, Tesla was like, no. So 174.20 is gonna be my look. I want minimum 174s. I'm gonna take this with less size than I took AMD though, because AMD, I think there's a lot more confluence for that move. Tesla, that range is getting weird. So, oh yeah, the late confluence.
Yeah, I know. It took me a second there. So.
But speaking of confirmation and confluence, we have a lesson.
We do, and it is all about confirmation strategies here. All right, let's get right to it. We are talking about moving average crossovers all week long today, no different. The twist today, though, is confirmation strategies for that stronger signal when you're using those moving average crossovers. So, welcome, traders. Moving average crossovers are fantastic trend identification tools, but relying solely on them can be quite risky. Today, we'll explore how to confirm crossover signals using other technical indicators, building a more robust trading strategy. So let's get right to it, baby. But as we always do, we're going to define some of these, you know, basic concepts. So imagine you see a golden crossover, which is what we know, a bullish signal, right? Exciting, right? But hold on. The market can be a tricky beast, and false signals do happen. Here's why confirmation is crucial. First and foremost, market volatility. Who's traded at 9:30 or at 4 prior? You guys know exactly what volatility is all about. So crossovers can be misleading during those volatile market periods. Prices might whipsaw, which is, reverse sharply, shortly after a crossover, leading to losing trades. There's also the issue of lagging indicators. So moving averages by their very nature are lagging, meaning they react to past price movements. They are a reflection of past price movements. Confirmation helps gauge current market sentiment and future potential direction. So two, weaknesses, you could make the argument, for moving average crossovers, hence leading to the requirement for confirmation strategies. I just want to set that up. So your confirmation toolkit. Let's explore some powerful indicators to strengthen your crossover signals. And my favorite is momentum indicators. We've talked about these before. These assess the speed and the direction of price movements. Popular examples of momentum indicators are RSI, the relative strength index, and the stochastic oscillator. Look for RSI values moving above 30, which is indicating moving out of that oversold area before the bullish crossover. So what you're looking for example, is before that 50 period crosses above that 200, or that 10 period crosses above that 20, you'd ideally like to see, if it was there, the RSI moving out of the below 30, which is the oversold territory, into that neutral zone between 30 and 70, okay? So that would be our ideal situation. It may not work out like that every time, okay? Or if you're going short and the 50 is about to cross the 200 from north to south, or the 10 about to cross the 20 from north to south, you'd ideally want to see the RSI come out of overbought territory from 100 to 70, down below 70 into that neutral zone between 70 and 30. So it depends on how you're going. You're going long, you're going short. You're looking for RSI here to confirm the crossover. That doesn't happen every time, but look out for it, okay? Similarly, the stochastic oscillator can confirm a potential trend shift if it aligns with the crossover direction. Let me just see if I have my RSI chart. I don't know where the hell this RSI chart went, but I'm going to have to load it up later. And the other tool in your tool belt is volume. So we just finished talking about momentum indicators. Now we're going to talk about volume. Healthy trends are often accompanied by increasing trading volume on breakouts after the crossovers. So you should be looking for above average volume, whether it's on the daily, the 4 hour, the 1 hour, whatever it is, when you get that death cross, when you get that golden cross. Is there volume there to support the move? And you're not really looking for volume to propel the move up. What you're looking really is mass participation for other people to see what you're seeing so that you can have that support of buyers to backstop you. So that's the look there. So you're looking for momentum, and you're also keeping an eye on volume. And price action, I mean, obviously price action here goes without saying. Support and resistance levels play a crucial role. Look for crossovers that happen around breakout levels. So for example, if you got the golden cross on Apple at 200, or you got the death cross on Apple at 165, we know both of those levels are key areas of both support and resistance. So you're looking for the crossovers not only to take place when the RSI is moving out of overbought or oversold, not just with above average volume, but are they taking place at key areas of support and resistance? Price action as important as anything else here. So I just wanted to make that point. And there you go, a great image here of the moving average crossover with the RSI coming out of oversold territory. So I love this one. Thank you, Adara, for adding it in.
Yeah, no worries.
So how do you build your confirmation arsenal? You know I was going to throw arsenal in there, right?
Of course,
right? So there's no one-size-fits-all approach, but here are some popular confirmation strategies. The first one I want to talk about is the crossover with the momentum indicator. That's what we talked about initially, the moving average crossover with RSI or stochastics. So here you're combining a crossover signal with the RSI or stochastic oscillator reading that aligns with the expected trend direction. That's the first one. The second one here is crossover plus price action plus volume. So you're looking for a crossover to happen around a breakout or a breakdown area with a surge in volume to strengthen that signal, okay? So that's what we're looking for there. And here is a good example of that. So you're getting that nice crossover from the 50 period above, I think above VWAP here. And you're getting that big boy price action move on the euro US dollar as well as that good volume. So that's exactly what we would be looking for here. We got the volume, we got the crossover, and we have the price action. But remember, guys, confirmation is not a guarantee, right? But it significantly increases your chances of catching valid trends and avoiding false positives. That's why we're looking for confirmation. And don't forget, don't get overwhelmed. Start, right, by mastering a few key indicators and learn how they work well with crossover. So really get acquainted with RSI, or if you're going to use RSI, really get acquainted with stochastics, right? Before you really start using them. And the moving averages that you select as well. Yesterday we talked about selecting the right moving averages, whether it's that 10 or 20, whether it's that 20 or 50, whether it's that 50 or 100, 50 or 200, whatever it's going to be. Get acquainted with it, know it inside and out before you ever use real money on the line. And gradually build your technical analysis toolbox for more comprehensive confirmation.
Yeah, I think having a technical analysis toolbox is really key, and something I'm definitely still trying to deliver. So definitely, develop. So definitely keep checking out How to Trade, where we deliver. That's where I want to put deliver lessons. Shout out to Sharif for putting that together and killing it there. Also, I want to talk about Tesla. So I know I said I was going to go short, and then I was like, Adara, you don't want this short. You want none of that smoke. I noticed we kept bouncing off 174. I said, try the long. So this was, I was really happy with what I did with this trade. The plan was we were going to get half of this out planned before VWAP. The other half was going to be pure scalpulation. So watching the move, if I see any of a slowing in the move, that's where I get out. Got involved, got out half the position around that 174.30, and then we drop. But we still stay above that 174. I was risking, by the way, into 173.80, so I was risking 20 pennies, wanted to make minimum 30. That's a risk management, risk-reward ratio I'm okay with. But anyway, so I got involved, and then I was like, maybe I want to add at 174.15. I was like, Jared, that's not part of your plan. Not part of your plan. Then Tesla's like, oh, what do you mean 174.15? I'm casually going to pop to near 175. So 175 is what I was watching for, not just because it's the whole dollar, it was because it was also around where we had that little wick earlier. But then actually, in retrospect, that wick is probably closer to 174.80, which is where I ended up getting out. We get into almost 175, then we go back down, and notice we keep having that rejection off 174.80. I said, Adara, get out here. So I was pleased as punch with how I managed this. Ready to keep going, keep climbing, finding some new opportunities to trade. I love this Google rejection. When the rest of the Mag 7s were Mag 7ing, having the nice pop to the upside, Google was like, what does a pop mean? And fell. So I should have gotten short when I was initially interested here in that 171.80. I just tried to get it in 171.60s, and Google was like, you're going to have to keep searching for that level, pal, because I'm going to keep falling to the downside. So Google tore my dreams asunder, peach eye a little bit there. But you just got to keep on going, keep betting opportunities. I like that we broke below the previous support of 171.46. I think there's something here. Right now, though, I don't have a read on it other than that level I wanted. But if Tesla bounces off VWAP, I'm going to bounce into the Cybertruck.
All right, guys, we have a poll here, and it's obviously informal, but we would love for you to actually chime in so we can have an idea of the pool of our viewers. So what skill level are you in trading? I mean, obviously it's easy to say I'm intermediate or I'm advanced, but be honest with yourself here. Are you expert? How long have you been trading? Are you proficient, intermediate, or are you novice? I clicked novice. I mean, I'm just trying to be honest with myself here. So are you guys, chime in, because we'd love to know exactly where our viewers are at. And let me tell you, we're also going to be using these polls a lot more on the midday. More information to come on that. But yeah, get used to these polls because they're going to influence a lot of what we have coming up for you guys. All right, let's get to some of these price action moves here on the Mag 7. I see everybody in the chat talking about this 190 flat top break that's about to happen on Apple. I think we got a bit, 2 pennies higher than when I reported last time. Last time around it was 189.96 HOD. Now it's 98 HOD. I'll wait to see whether we pop or drop off that 190 touch. Right now, nothing really forthcoming here on the dead one Apple. It's definitely not dead today, up 1.33%. So good look here for Apple. Now, I was about to say, that these trends seem to be ending a little bit here on these Mag 7. Not these trends, sorry, these ranges. Okay, so we had a range established earlier on Meta between the 50 and VWAP on the 5. That's since broken out. Meta now knocking the door 474.5, trying and above the volume weighted average price. Same thing happened here for Tesla. You saw Dara take that beautiful trade through that 175 area, and we were talking earlier about that 173.5 to 174.5 range. That seems to be ending at the moment. Tesla trying to reclaim the volume weighted average price and that 175 level. We'll look for a rejection here off 175 on TSLA. Let's see if it's able to continue up. If it can, fantastic. We'll take it long. But yeah, I have my suspicions here. We'll keep eyes on the Cybertruck. Goggles has been an interesting trade today for whoever wanted it off the 50. You got the IB low off the 50. Then you got the 950 wick and pop off, you guessed it, the 50. Because it was 950 off the 50, right? And now we're about to touch the 50 again here, Adair. 171 and a fifth is where the 50 period is hanging on the 5. You're not going to catch me just putting a resting order there. I need proof that this area is going to hold. But if the 50 period on the 5 here holds on goggles on a closing basis, I will definitely get in and look to take that bad boy up, maybe back into 172. We seem to have a flat top here at that 171.85-ish, 171.90-ish. So I'm looking for a decent move here for goggles. So I'm going to keep my eye on goggles. Right now I'm going to load it up on said trading screen because I'm very interested in this range. Let's go ahead, not range, sorry, this area here on Google. So I'm going to load it up, and I'm not going to punch long quite yet. I want to see, what time does this 5-minute candle close? How long do we have left? We have another 30 seconds left on this 5-minute candle. So yeah, let's see exactly what we'll get. Yeah, just dipping a little bit more here. So maybe my patience is going to pay a little bit over here. I like this trade on goggles. I'm looking to go long on Google at the 50 on the 5, but I need proof that it's going to hold up here. So I'm going to pack my patience to there.
Yeah, I mean, NVIDIA has been, I want some scalps on NVIDIA if they make sense. Yesterday, I had a lot of fun just scalping this one for the first time since going live. Okay, yeah, I saw the level I want in NVIDIA, so we're going to get involved. Never mind, it fell. Cool, perfect. Thank you, NVIDIA, for making me sure. But basically, I was watching that 942 bounce initially, right? I wanted that. We didn't get it perfectly. I was like, Tadera, you actually probably don't want this smoke, so I didn't get involved. Then I saw the 942 rejection. I was like, let's get in. And then NVIDIA was like, oh, too late. It's been rejected, and you've been rejected. I was like, okay. Then we're hanging out a little bit around 940.50, and I said, oh, that's another level. NVIDIA was like, no. By the way, when I'm talking about NVIDIA levels, I mean pure scalp. I want to clarify. When I trade NVIDIA, it is a scalp. I try to scalp everything, but it's like I have no faith in Mr. NVIDIA or whatever you want to call them. But so I don't like that NVIDIA. AMD, I wanted to take that one short as well, and then that didn't come to fruition either due to some bad timing on my part. I wanted to get in the same level that I initially got long, that 157.69, risking into 157.90, and AMD was like, oh, isn't that sweet? And then did not give me that opportunity. But you know what? That was my issue with GME, is liking a level, missing that level, and then getting married to that level. We're not doing that anymore. I'm happy I took that GME trade as much as it was an L, because it did teach me lessons, and that's the L we want to focus on. Still looking, no positions, but I see someone Google search for a trade here.
There it is. Nice. Okay, so we wet our beak nicely here on some profits. On goggles, again, if you're just joining us or you didn't hear what I said earlier, my Google trade is predicated upon a 50-period exponential moving average hold on the 5-minute. We'll see how it goes. We're already printing on it right now, a nice 15 pennies in the money on goggles. I'm going to let this trade go, and I'm looking here ideally maybe for a 171 3/4 retracement. Maybe I'm being a little bit ambitious there. The volume weighted average price is at 55, so I could definitely be persuaded here to wet my beak at 55s if that holds up. So we'll keep an eye on that. Guys, we just touched 18.6 on the NQ June contract, so that is a local resistance level now, coming back off that level into the mid 580s on here. NQ June contract still well above the 10, the 20, the 50, and all these beautiful lines that I have on my chart. Ironically enough, I don't know if it's irony, but I guess conveniently, we have 18.604 as resistance level 2 on pivots, which is like a skosh above that 18.6 level. What's up, Fabian? Super chat, thank you very much. Jimmy Mo Ace, 199 super chat. Roaring Kitty just showed his face first time. You know he testified in front of Congress, right? Since. Okay, fantastic. Very cool. Is it on Twitter? I'm assuming something like that.
I'm guessing on Twitter.
Or X. I'm sorry, Elon.
X.
Yeah, sorry, Elon. Yeah, okay. Thank you very much for that, Jimmy Mo Ace. We'll definitely look at that. I mean, well, we've got so many people that are on X. I will probably have them check that out super quick. Thank you for pointing that out. I don't have my X account logged in on this computer, so we'll look for that. Thank you. What are you looking at over there?
I'm trying to take Sox L, Sox short there. That worked better in my head. I wanted to get involved 45.40s, and then Sox L kind of came up there and was like, maybe not. Why I like this, though, is look at that massive support we had earlier. Look at that consolidation, these wicking candles to the downside. This was a great bullish look. So the reason I want to go short there is because look where we fall. We can hover there for a little bit. We fall below the 90 MA. I think we come back to this, touch it, and reject it, it's a short. If we break above 45.50s, I'm getting out, risking about 10 pennies. And in terms of where I want to take profit, I mean, you know, I'm okay with 45s. I realize that's very ambitious, but I think with Sox L, if you have that nice little move to the downside, I think it gives you some opportunities. We also had a bearish candle in the TQs, and I've noticed for whatever reason, there is sometimes a little bit of symbiosis between the price action we see in the Qs and the price action we see on the Sox L. Right now, the Qs trying to pop back up, so I'm like, well, okay, Qs, maybe that was a mistake on my part, but you got to do what you got to do. You got to make the decisions that you like. As long as we stay below 50s, I'm going to be pleased as punch. I'm going to be in my Sox L. That is for sure. But let's see, too, what's happening here with GME, because for that super chat. Also, we had another one earlier that I apologize, I forgot to mention. I just noticed that from Kenneth Choi saying, let's go, which indeed we are going to today. GME getting rangy. Oh, Adara. But it's GME. That doesn't behave like that, Adara. Look at this base. 31.
No trouble?
And this top of 34. Yeah, base, no trouble there. It's all about that base at 31.
Wow, Fabian, it's like that, eh?
Okay. But yeah, I want to take, and look, both times we wick into 35 before finding that rejection at 34. If we bounce off the 90 EMA, I don't want it. If we don't, I might try to get shorts in GME because as much as I said I learned my lesson from this, it's a range, and if it's respecting the range, I think I owe it to myself to try to trade it. SOXL, do your thing 21, hopefully to the downside.
Apple broke 190, 190.07, but there's no follow through, guys. And there's no dump either. So a little anticlimactic. I don't know if we're going to start putting a rounded top here, but it looks, possible rounded top-ish. If that is an observable characteristic, I guess. I don't know. I'll be looking for lower highs and lower lows. That's when we know we're starting to kind of round at the top there and make lower highs. I'm not going to jump into anything willy-nilly here on the dead one Apple, but I am anticipating a 190 general rejection and a possible rounded top. If we get that rounded top, I'd love to take this one down into the volume weighted average price, which currently is at 189.20-ish area, so 189 and a fifth. The current trade that I have, though, is Goggles. And Goggles is right back onto my entry. It's still holding the 50 period. We haven't changed on that whole shebang there. I'm now 3 pennies out of the money on my remaining balance. So if this one triggers my out, it triggers my out. My out, it hasn't moved. And right back up we go. So we're generally, this is 3 now, 5-minute candles holding at the 50 period moving average. So there's something here, right? Whether or not it ends up holding here and I get a curl back up either into the top end of the range at 170, 190, 172, an entirely different story. But the fact that we've held up here for almost 15 minutes right now upon the close of this candle, tells me that there is something with the 50 period, as I suspected there was earlier with Google. So we'll see what we get here with Goggles. Apple's still now coming back down into the 80s. Good, decent move there. But you know what's not stopping in its ascent? And I'm not talking about the future. The soft one is on the way up. I mean, if we were to count the amount of green candles from 950 onwards, I mean, there's only 1, 2, 3, 4 5-minute candles that are red. Everything else green here on Microsoft. Higher highs, higher lows. This one has been really getting away from everything, both the 50 period, the 20 period. It's really only coming down into the 10 period here. So 10 period retracements, possibly the best move here on MSFT. But there goes Google. So now Google's in a little bit of trouble. I'm seeing 18 prints coming, so I may have to get out of this one for the remaining balance because it looks as if it may break down now below the volume weighted average price. And that's going to be my out on Goggles. We take a bit of an L on that last little piece, but am I still positive on it? Yes, I am. So please as dang punch, still positive on this Goggles trade. Let's see what else we got over here. Tesla is starting to put in a rounded bottom in kind of the same way that I'm looking at Apple for a possible rounded top here. So look at this rounded bottom here on TSLA, starting to come up, putting in higher highs, higher lows, now well above the 175, well above the volume weighted average price. Good, decent move here for Tesla. I would say if we move up here on Tesla, be on the lookout for this 177.50, 177-ish area, this general area here. That was a consolidation area bottom in the pre. It is also yesterday's closing print. We closed off on the Cybertruck yesterday at 177.5. So if we continue up and hold this 175 area, I'd be looking for resistance on Tesla at 177.5 a deer.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking for resistance here on AMD, and I got short. I initially said I wanted that 157.69 short. Alas, was not meant to be. But then I noticed some just beautiful confluence. We're rejecting off the 90 EMA. Ka-ching. We have, we're doing so at, oh, nice dollar club there. This is not a dollar club though, I just got in. And then we also had that earlier, confident. Yeah, you have to be confident and stuff sometimes. Shout out to that. We're trying to be a little bit more confident in our trades. But yeah, also AMD here rejecting off that previous pre-market area, so I thought that could have been a level as well. I'm risking 20 pennies. I want minimum 157, so trying to get at least 40 pennies. I can live with that. Don't have a ton of shares in this, but I do have, not as many as I took that first time, but I do have enough to kind of piece this out as I go. NVIDIA, I wanted that 941 long, and NVIDIA was like, you're too late to the party. If I want to scalp NVIDIA more, and I certainly do, I think it needs to be watching it like a hawk. The GME range came to fruition, so what I'm going to try to do is I want to try to take the bottom of the range. If we come back, if we bounce off this 31 again, small position, I want to take the bottom of that range. I want not just some, No, just a little. I want all the smoke. But yeah, so AMD right now, still working about 10 pennies out of the money. If we get to 157.60, bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. I'm not going to be in sync with AMD anymore if that happens. Mark, Meta's still chopping and turning. I'm looking at some stuff. Apple, okay.
Yep.
Monsieur Apple, Mr. Cook, Tim Cookin. If we hold up here at this 187.75, or sorry, 189.75, not a bad look for me because that was previous support, a little bit of resistance earlier. If we reject at 189.75, I think someone might go short, but I would want a little bit more confidence before I do that. And I say that because, you know, if we have a rejection for below the 90 MA, to me, that kind of screams short season. Also, definitely check out our poll here in the chat. Shout out to Fabian and Ramin for putting that together. Just a way that you can kind of say what level of skill you are to interact with this great community because we always have more stuff ready to go.
I love it. And I was just about to echo your Apple sentiment there because Day Trader Cut says the dead one is coming down. Yes, a little bit. We've been waiting possibly here for the dead one to play dead again. And, you know, we're waiting for it to start curling back down. Look, I need proof. I think Apple's moved nicely off the bottoms. I think that it gives me a decent mean reversion trade. Personally, I'd be looking for the IB high as a profit target, maybe that 188.70. Maybe even like if you're less ambitious, 189. I'm going to wait for this candle, this current 5-minute candle, to make a new low on a closing basis. If it does that, I'm going to punch short with 190 as my out. We'll see exactly what we get here on Apple. I see it. I'm aware of Apple. I know about the 190 level. It's just how I weasel my way into the trade. I'm also interested, again, I'm sorry, I hate to be a broken record, but I'm interested on Tesla as well, as it's also putting that rounded bottom, kind of the opposite trades here, TSLA and AAPL. But as I speak about that, let me speak about this. The monster NVIDIA is printing days high as we speak. This thing is on the way up. It opened up today at 913. Forget about that. We're probably going to hit 950. 944.86 HOD on NVDA. I was going to say the superficial retracements didn't even bother retracing into the 10, so strong they were. The last time you touched the 10, obviously before over here, was at 10:15. You did get a bit of a doji candle, a bottoming tail candle here showing buyer exuberance through the 10, didn't quite make it down into the 20 though, and here we go, curling back up, 944.86 HOD on NVDA. We'll see if this one keeps going. I likely won't trade NVDA. I'll probably trade NVDL as a derivative equity, I guess, of NVDA. There's others. There's NVDS, there's NVDX. They all have different reasons, like their purpose. Some are short, some are long, some are, I don't know what some are, but they have different prices. So if you're looking to risk manage a little bit, some of those derivatives could help with that. Softy putting in a bit of a topping tail candle here through 421, right at resistance level 2 on pivots. So interesting look here for the soft one. We'll see if it makes its way back down into 420. That's where I'd be looking. That's where I was looking short originally on Softy at 420. There's about 79, 80 pennies from the current price action into that 420 levels. Also the 20 period that we've seen it retrace to in the past and then bounce. That's right, I think like 10 pennies above the 420. So good look here for Softy. Yep, everything curling down now. You have the dead one curling back down, the soft one as well starting to curl. You know, we're not getting a flush on the market likely because of NVIDIA strength, but some of these names here showing a little bit of weakness. It's time to get in some of these trades.
Yeah, I asked Microsoft 421, can you do something for me? And it was like, no, unfortunately I cannot. Tried to get short appreciate that. Tried to get short 421, didn't work. We're kind of bouncing off the 90 MA, which I know is not a level that always matters, but it's a level I always watch because look, it actually did come to fruition here. It's bouncing off that 90 MA. I like that topping tail candle. I noticed the same thing Sharif noticed. It's funny, as you mentioned it, that's when I was just basically coming to terms with the fact I wasn't getting my shorts. So kind of on this, definitely on the same page as you there. We're gonna have to wait and see. GME still eyeing that range. AM Dizzle, call it AM Bamboozlement more like. Look at this, okay? Happy with how I managed it. Get out when we break near 60s. Bye-bye, all good. And then AMT is like, oh, well, now that Adara's gone, I can do that move that she wanted. So it dropped here, unfortunately, much to my deepest chagrin, and my chagrin is pretty deep. We did drop all the way into 157.20s. However, this is kind of a higher low. on the 5 minute. So I'm gonna have to say, I'm gonna have to say no. I'm gonna have to go. Still up on AMD, more like flat, but positive on the name. Proud of how I handled it. Sometimes risk management matters just as much as the trade idea that you had. So unfortunately, I did lose an AMD. I would have been more upset had I not followed my plan. Because as cheesy as and Hallmark movie-esque as that may sound. Yeah, what else am I looking at here? IWM is an IW maybe for me. This is another name that I scalped a lot in the sim that I haven't traded since going live. But look at this. This is this 209 bounce. Okay, yeah, okay, we're doing it. We're getting a dip buy ready at 209, and you might be like, why 209, Adara? Because I love that we had this gorgeous bounce at 208.90. Like, look at this. We wick down in the 90 EMA, then we bounce right back up, higher highs, higher lows. We're pushing here. Especially, I think if we have a flat top trying to form at this 209.15, look at that resistance in the pre. I think this could be something. I think that's something to quote, hold on, we're going home. But hopefully I say to IWM, hold on, we're going long. I need it to make that decision for me, though. I'm just going to wait patiently. All I can do is what I do, and we just have to wait and see if it responds. Seeing a lot of top and churn right now, so trying to make sure I don't hop into anything except for this IWM, which is not moving with the cues and just something I like. Also, I want to point out Tesla really quickly before I throw it back to my pal Sharif and his pal Tim Cook. Tesla, I think, might be flat top breaking. Can't say it for sure, but look at us forming around that 157. We had that wick above. We failed it. Initially, that looked shortish to me, but I said, no, Adara. We have higher lows. Tesla could be really spicy here, but you know what also is spicy sometimes is an apple cider. How's your apple going?
This is good. Putting a beak wetter here at 74s. Let's see if we get printed. Been waiting. We've been at 74s on the ask, but not really on the bid. So packing my patience here. The reason I got long is I like that possible 20-period hold. Call me crazy, but that's what I've been looking for on this. I know I was looking short originally, but it did hold at said 20 period. So I'm just going to pack my patience. Already put my stop in there. Now I'm seeing something different here on META. 474.5 wicking candles. There's been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 5-minute candles that have all wicked into 474.5 and all rejected. It's giving you 75 pennies worth of range on META. As I said, 474.5 to the high side, and then you can see here 473.75 acting as a local area bottom. It's hugging that VWAP area, but in the meantime, it's presenting you with tradable opportunities there. So yeah, that could be an interesting area there as well. Nice, we get the fill here on the dead one apple. So let's see if the dead one can curl right back up again and maybe test that 190. I'm gonna, it's a small piece, so I can pack my patience and yeah. It ain't no thing but a chicken wing on a string, baby. So
on a string.
Yeah, I know that's from. You know where that's from, Neil? Oh, I forgot. I'm not supposed to look that way. But all right. You know where that's from? White Men Can't Jump.
Oh, yeah.
The original
Wesley
one.
Snipes.
Yes, and Woody Harrelson.
Our pal and maybe Matthew McConaughey's brother, according to only them, Woody Harrelson. You didn't know this?
Hold on. What?
Woody Harrelson and Matthew McConaughey think they're brothers.
Oh, no, I didn't know this.
So there's like some overlap where it could be physically possible.
Really?
And they kind of look alike. But yeah, no, completely
I like
random.
both of them.
Right? They're both great guys. But yeah, so I just wanted to, go. I haven't seen that movie. But
Yeah, man. It's. I haven't even watched the remake. Did you watch the remake yet?
No, but because I don't do Jack Harlow as a
Neil, have you watched the remake? No, he hasn't watched the remake. Okay, cool. All right, he's on. This is Neil, baby, on the top corner. I haven't watched the remake either. I'm more about like an original movie kind of. Anyway, we'll see. What's up? What's up? All right, decent move here on AAPL. Looking for a 190, maybe retracement. Generally, I'll probably wet my beak in the mid 90s. Looking for that move up here. What's everybody else trading? Big Kyle sent me a whole host of charts and explanations. I will be showing you those too soon. Shout out to Big Kyle, trading the SPY well today. Always killing it there. Shout out to Big Kyle Burdett there.
Yeah, so bless you, Ram. So quote Sharif. Speaking of Big Kyle Burdett, Kyle's, I was looking at this as well because I know I had that 185.50 short in Amazon yesterday. Kyle says, hey, I'm looking at the 186 level on Amazon. I also like it. Here's my thing, though, and the same thing I said to Kyle in the chat, and he said, yeah, I agree, is I don't know about the way we're resting here. I think we could be coiling for a move up. If we reject, I have no problem like just taking the 187 or 187, 185, 75 short, because like I said, I like that 185.50 area yesterday. To me, that's the level I'm okay with. But shout out to Kyle there for looking at that. Looks like the short is coming in. So I'm going to try to get 75s. 73s. I don't know if I'll get them, but that's what I want. 73 could be the bee's knees. If we break above 186 decisively, I will have to flee. So that's the plan there. And Amazon's like, oh, and all of your hemming and hawing, I've just dropped a cool 20 pennies. So tough luck. But that's all good. IWM, I realized I wasn't going to get that dip by WM. So we had to say bye-bye WM for now. Bye. You know, oh, never mind. I didn't even cancel my order. Okay, I'm canceling the order because I don't think I'm going to get that 209 area. If we have another dip, and at this point, I would say that dip would be around 209.06. That's what I'll take. With IWM, it's going to be like super scalpy, just kind of taking these 10 penny moves, getting in, getting out, rinse, repeat. That is what I want. I don't want any kind of like long-term sustained move. In general, I am a scalper, so I guess that's kind of par for the course, more to my personality. My biggest thing coming in today, I had a bad day. Well, I had an okay day yesterday, and then I gave up everything I made. And then on Monday, I got shut down for the first time. So I'm coming out of those experiences realizing you have to trade what works for you. All of my stronger trades yesterday, all the names I was positive on were Mag 7 scalps. So we're just trying to Mag 7 scalp over here. Although that being said, IWM and AMD, I'm also kind of interested in here.
I like it. Ocugen, I'm seeing you guys talk about OCGN, a former mover, small cap gapper that we've known for quite some time, showing up on my scanner. Here are the deets. $491 million market cap, decent amount of volume for a dollar name. Seeing that we just started really moving here in volume, about 6 1/3 million shares traded on the day for OCGN. And then the float, this is where it's a bit of an issue. About 253 million shares here of a float on OCGN. So a bit of a heavier, you know, I don't know, lug. Like it's going to take a little bit to move this one, not like these low float ones. I think Dara was telling me AWIN, was it AWIN that was super short? I mean, 700.
Edible?
EDBL, that's right.
EDBL is like 230,000.
That's this one over here. So edible, yeah, thank you, Adara. This one is the one with super small float there. And in case you're wondering why we're mentioning the float, the smaller the float, the more likelihood that it becomes parabolic in nature, because there is just not that many shares out there to trade. So when they do trade, there's a lot of demand for them, and that's why we get these parabolic moves with the low floaters. That's why we always have an eye on the float, in case you're a newer trader and wonder why we're always mentioning the float. That's really the reason. So I'm keeping my eye on that. I do like this OCGN. It is a former runner. We all know about OCGN. Any of us who have been trading these small cap gappers, it is a good looking chart. It is not a bad chart. This is the daily on OCGN. You can see here up and to the right, higher highs, higher lows. On the daily, there's been some obvious respect here on the deeper retracements for the 50. Right, this came at a penny stock status in December. It was trading around 30 some odd pennies. It's become, you know, I don't want to call it legitimate stock. I don't know too much about the company, but here we are. We've been dancing with $2 for quite some time. It seems to be a local top. All the closing prints, at least locally, have been below $2, but we do have these wicks that make it up into around that 210 area. So I'd be looking for an end of day drop, or, you know, close at $2 if you're going to hold this one the majority of the day. Anyway, good luck here for OCGN. We will keep eyes on that. I've been waiting here at 88s for my out on Apple. I was about to say goggles, but I meant Apple. And it hasn't been forthcoming. I mean, we got up into 85 multiple times. It does seem like we're encountering some resistance right now, even though we bounced off the 20 initially. I'm trying to pack my patience with this trade. I don't really see a reason to get out yet. Nothing has shown me a reason to get out, but it's just not filling. So yeah, we'll keep eyes on that. Hopefully I'll get filled by the time Neil is done with his lesson of the day.
Welcome, another lesson of the day coming right at you guys. And I've talked about this concept before, but I mean, everyone was probably paying attention to it today because the meme stocks ended up in short sell restriction. So I've mentioned this before you, and I say SSR a lot on the show. So the SSR simply stands for the short sell restriction. And what this is it's a mechanism that they came up with on the markets to control downside movement in stocks. And what it boils down to is if any single name in the NASDAQ New York or the NYSE ARCA market is down 10% from the previous close, and this happens after the open, then it goes into short sell restriction mode for that day and then the following day. Now, what this means mechanically in terms of actual trading is you cannot go short by removing liquidity from the bid without the last tick being an uptick. It's the uptick rule in effect. Now, I've been around long enough, I've said before, that I remember when the uptick rule existed on all NASDAQ stocks at all times, which made going short a heck of a lot of fun and a little bit tricky to do. So what this means in a practical sense is if we're looking at a level 2, AMC is down over 10% today, so it is short sell restricted. If I wanted to just go short when 540 broke or when it breaks here off of the bid and I tried to sell to that ARCA for a couple of hundred shares, I cannot remove that liquidity. There's buyers on bats. I can't hit that bats unless the last print on the tape is green in that moment. So what it means is that order sits and waits on the offer until either the uptick gets filled or it prints up. This actually ends up impacting your trades to a certain extent here. And I'm going to tell you why. Because one of the trades that a lot of people look at are breakout trades, and sometimes they look at breakdown trades. In the case of a breakdown trade where you make a fresh low and you're looking to get short as it breaks a key level, well, if you need an uptick to be able to get that fill, an example would be when 35 broke on GameStop. If you want to have it break 35 and then you look for shorts underneath, maybe I'm crossing down to 34.80, let's just say. There's bids between 34.80 and 35 even. Well, if there's no print up or no uptick during that break, then I don't get short. It doesn't matter that I want to sell 34.80. It could be sitting at 34.90 on that break, but without an uptick, I'm not going to get that fill. And it means you have to adjust a little bit your plan of entry. So in that particular case, if I wasn't going to get the breakdown trade, I have to find a way to get short on the way up as the stock is coming back in. That requires some patience and finding a setup that's going to work, like in here. Like maybe it makes this double top at 37.5. You're still looking short off at 35. This is it making the lower high, bounces, and you're looking for some kind of a short on the way up there that you can give to the top. It's a different setup. You have to do things like short pops instead of just, oh, this stock is tanking, let's break it down, let's break it down. Things like a VWAP retracement come into play. Things like looking for lower highs. Maybe you've got a moving average that you want to work with. Those become very important when you're trying to get into a short position. But let's think about this the other way for a second. If you can't remove liquidity on that bid to go short, that's one less tool for short sellers to aggressively push a stock down. Now, obviously, this only ever happens when a stock is weak, so understand you're going against the grain if you look for some long opportunities. But when they do show themselves, as in this downward push, when it finally makes the bottom, the first move up was a halt on GameStop. Then it made a halt down and didn't make a fresh low, and look at the big bounce off 31.50. What you can have with short sell restriction bounces are bigger moves off of those lows. And then I'll give you an example right here with AMC, which was down 10%. Biggest volume candle of the day off of the low. The next thing it did is make a higher low when GameStop's making a bottom, and it's been in an upward trend ever since. The next time it tried to make a big press down where it might have trapped some shorts underneath $5, massive press to the upside and sustained trend because it's a little bit more difficult to take that short. So when a stock is SSR, sometimes you want the wipeout bottom where a bunch of people have either getting trapped getting on that offer underneath that resistance. They couldn't get the breakdown here when it took out the low, so they just sat on the offer. They all got picked up in one shot, and then it starts trending up. That's why when we got to $5 of those lows, I was saying I want to look for a false break and then a reversal into the upside. So it's not to say that you don't trade stocks that have short sell restrictions, but what you do want to do is maybe alter your execution plan. If it's SSR, you have to find good short the pop situations if you're looking for the downtrend. Sometimes if you're looking for that long reversal, you want it to actually flush through. Everyone's trying to get short, trying to get short, trying to get short, can't get short, can't get short. Then they all get filled at once, and then you look for the long opportunity. So a false break can be a great way to get into a long off a stock that is SSR. So just to recap, the short sell restriction is if a stock is down over 10% from the previous close, it's short sell restricted that day, and the next day, you can't hit the bid to go short without an uptick. Makes it a little more difficult for them to press down. Alter your strategy in terms of getting into position, and then those wipeout bottoms become great reversal plays. That's your lesson of the day. SSR trading, it's not going away anytime soon.
Nice move up. Oh, firstly, thank you, Neil, for amazing lesson of the day. Informative, eloquent, and awesome as always. Neil Roberts, baby. Catch him every day around noon hour. He does his lesson of the day. There goes Apple. I'm pleased, as my friend Adair likes to say, dang punch, because we came into that 20 period, Ram, and she seems displeased with my microphone, so we'll let her do her thing, 21. It came into that 20 It came into that 20 period, and it held up. So trend trader tried to take this one correctly. It didn't have the best price at 68s rather than having that mid 50s, which was the 21 print. But you guys, the 20 print. But you guys know how I do. Like, I like to get things after they've confirmed that they're going to hold up at that level. So that's why I had a bit of a worse price on there. Alas, it heads up into 88s, and we get printed on Apple. The Katina man was just over here, and he's like, you know, I don't really want to short Apple. And we were talking about this 190 level all day, and how could you not? I mean, we've been dancing with 190 since 10:40 this morning. We're going on 12 o'clock right now. So now we're in 20 minutes of a top-end consolidation at 190. I don't know. I just feel like we probably reject off that level by day's end. If we do break it, I think maybe we curl back down. We'll have to wait and see. No Nostradamus, obviously. So nice move. I know, believe it or not, Fabian. Nice move here for Apple on the day, up 1.25%. The other trade that I was considering, you know, we were talking about this Tesla range. Now Tesla's like upgrading its range. It's stair-stepping its range. Here's what I mean by that. Initially, we had that 173.5 to about 174.5 range at its best. Now, kind of, we're using 174.5 as the level of support prior resistance, and now we're using 175.5 as the high side. So Tesla doing its best, I don't know, range day or whatever it's doing over here. But good move up here for Tesla, dancing with VWAP right now. That could be persuaded into an entry out either one of these extremes. So we'll see if it continues to range as it's been doing all day. META, though, the Zuck train, absolute beautiful hold off the 50 period earlier, and then again in the later stages of the morning show, and then during our show as well. And now it's coming into that 475.25. And I was telling you guys about this level earlier. 475.25 to 475.5 seems like a bit of an area top. I realize we have all these wicks that take us well past there, but look at the closing prints. They're all, without exception, south of 475.5. So I want to see how we dance between that $0.25 level to that $0.50 level on META. It does seem like an area top. We'll see if it acts as one. But there is an individual to my left that had one hell of a banger trade on NVIDIA, and she wants to talk about it.
Thank you so much. I do.
He's on my right. I'm sure he had NVIDIA trades as well. Sean is still long Tesla, guys, by the way. He's long at 173.50. Keep that in mind. If you're following along with Sean's trades, you should be over at More Trader TV. Sorry, Adara. And making sure that you have his positions and Neil's positions. We try to do our best to make sure those prices are accurate.
Yeah, Cybertruck Sean over there. Shout out to him. Yeah, I want to talk about this NVIDIA trade. I'm really proud of this. I know I said all day I was watching levels on NVIDIA, right? One of the levels I really liked was 240-250. So then I noticed we're kind of coming. We've failed this 944 a couple times, but I like that we have these wicks to the downside off the 90 MA. We know I love my 90 MA bounces. Then when I realized I'm not going to get 942.50 for my entry for the long, I say, you know what, Adara, use that as your stop then. Get involved. at 943.25 because that was an area over that 943 that I felt comfortable with. I get involved. I think we might wick just below 943 like once, but other than that, we hold it really well. And then we get that pop up into 944s. And initially, I kind of like panicked. I was like, and then I didn't, I was like, I don't know what to do. Then we fall back into my area of entry. And I said, Adara, don't sell yet. You're still where you need to be. You need to come back. If we pop back into 94 or 944, you have to have a plan. So my plan was 944.44. Really specific numbers there, 444. I know sometimes those can be unlucky, but I liked it because it was an area that we did have a little bit of a bounce into, and that I thought we could get. So I did take $1.20 on this trade. Pleased as punch. Really happy with how I did it. Mostly just happy because this was something I wanted all day and I waited till the levels were right. If NVIDIA bounces again at 940, like I said, I like it. NVIDIA 940.50 as specific as that is. So if we get 940.50 bounce, might scalp it. But scalp season, call me Edie Scalpo. Not a soprano, but call me Edie Scalpo here. I just want to be taking some scalps all day, every day. Proud of what we did. How are you doing?
All right, I'm keeping my eye here on AMC. Because AMC, guys. So shout out to all my meme traders out there. I see you guys in there in chat. And trust me, if there's a meme trade to be had, I'll be all over it. Now, here's what I like. I like either a VWAP rejection or a 50-period rejection here on AMC. So I'm thinking short. Yeah, it may not please some of you meme traders out there that want to take it long, but I'm looking short. It's down and to the right. It's been a downtrend all day, and I'm thinking about shorting the pops here. Now, there's a couple of levels, like I mentioned. There was that 50-period reject, which is essentially the IB high. It rejected right off the 50-period. $6.60 seems like a random area to reject. It was a pre-market kind of consolidation bottom around here, so maybe it doesn't have that much to do with the 50-period as it does to do with this consolidation area bottom in the pre, but we'll have to wait and see. Anyway, a couple of wicks right now off the 50-period. The 50-period on the 5 is at around 570. VWAP is around 580, I think 579. So just generally that area. So I could definitely be persuaded here if we get up into that area and then start showing some red candles to take this bad boy short, maybe into 5 or something like that. I don't want to be too ambitious. I think we're going to print low a day off the pop, but it's doing the wick shimmy. It's doing these topping tail candles into a key area of resistance. And that's kind of what I'm looking for there. So AMC, I'm definitely looking possibly short here if it continues up. GME's much the same look. It really is, though. I mean, kind of curling back up very much near the 50, near VWAP on both. They're kind of overlapping currently at the moment, both looking like around that $37.80 area and three-quarter area, something like that. Hard to tell with such a wide range here on the chart. But anyway, I'm looking for a possible curl into the volume-weighted average price or the 50-period on the 5 for GME and AMC as a possible short. It looks like AMC now wants to reject and come down a little bit quicker than I anticipated here because it's not even, wow, it didn't even make it up to VWAP. It wicked off that 570 level, which is the 50-period, and right back down below the $0.50 it goes. So nice little range there on a $5 name. That's not that bad. So good look here for AMC. Some of the stronger names, though, if you're looking for something long on these small cap gappers, you got to be looking at AWIN. I mean, this has been the kind of the poster boy of the small cap gappers, Adara. I mean, it's come down in a VWAP, held VWAP for for the most part. We've got wicks that go a little bit below it, but for the most part, it's really held that level. And now we're getting that rounded bottom where we're starting to put in higher lows and higher highs, maybe to touch that 9 3/4 HOD that we put in right at 10 o'clock. So AWIN looking awfully good here for the longs. I'm interested in the shorts on AMC and GME. B. Davis, my peeps, Mr. Pampit, and the Pun Queen. Shout out to you, B. Davis. Thank you very much for the shout out, my man, and nice kind words.
Thank you so much, B. Davis. Yeah, I think if we had like, those sitcoms in the 70s with like the weird names, I think if we had a sitcom in the 70s, I think it might be called Mr. Pampit and the Pun Queen. So that seems pretty apt indeed. I took this TQQ short off that 9 EMA breakdown. Again, a level I love. Try not to get too attached to levels, but if it shows up and it works, I'm going to play it much like Sharif and his pivots. You don't want to marry yourself to it. I don't want to speak for Sharif, but just based on what I've heard with Sharif and his pivots, you don't want to marry yourself to it, but if it shows up, then you have an aha moment or an eureka moment. That's why I want to take this 9 EMA short. I am cognizant I am cognizant of the fact we had this wick down here, which is generally a bullish move. I'm risking like 7 pennies if we break above 55s decisively. I am getting out. Now you might be like, why 55s? I'll explain. I like that 53 pop. I like that 57 pop. I averaged it. That's why I got 55s, to be really honest with you guys. Risking 7 pennies.
Thank you.
I want minimum 28, so I want minimum 20 pennies. I think risking 7 pennies to try to make at least 20 pennies is something I could absolutely live with. But I have enough. I'm proud of myself. I got enough here. Oh, sorry, I thought I had a slightly larger position. It's fine, still happy with it. I have enough that I can get some out here at 28s if I want and save a piece for the dream. So I'll see what we do at 28s. If we reject, get out there. If not, we'll have to see what we do. Tesla is, I was really happy with what I did with this earlier. Shout out to Sean, though, who is, I believe, still in that Cybertruck. From beep, beep. If you see him on the highway, he's going to keep driving. But I like, yeah, there he is in his wheelbarrow driving now. You could just spot him running across the screen. But I like this VWAP bounce. I want to see what we do here. GME, I know you just had your analysis there of AMC, which I really enjoyed. But GME, to GME, I like this. Again, GME off my favorite level, 90 MA. I don't like that we got popped above VWAP and rejected very viciously. If we can hold 3450, I'll scalp this into 45, or not 45, I'm not doing that. Scalp this into like 35s, 36s. That was the same level I initially liked in this long, but I played it. The issue is I watched it, I missed it, then I tried to get in afterwards, right? So if I see it as it arrives, I think there's a shot here, but again, I don't want to force it. Really proud of the trading I've been doing today. I have no interest in getting everything a little bit messy because I take an impulsive trade on the king of impulse stocks. You know what I mean? You gotta make decisions that work for you.
Absolutely. I see here Day Trader Cut says in the chat that Neil Kashkari is dropping hot lines as we speak. So be on the lookout. I don't have anything on my blotter coming out from whatever meeting he's at the moment, so I can't really tell you what he's doing. But he is scheduled to start speaking today at 12, so 6 minutes deep into that sesh at 3:20 on the Big Kahuna show. We're gonna have Fed Bowman speaking as well. There on my what's it called, investing.com app here, showing me the economic calendar. So we have Kashkari currently speaking. Fed Bowman will start speaking at 15:20, which is 3:20. And I'm trying to see if there's anything else here. No. We don't. We get the Atlanta Fed GDP now at 12:30. That gets 2 out of 3 bulls in importance. We'll see whether or not that's market moving or not. So keep your eye out for market moves now because the cash man is starting to speak as we're on the show live. So I'm seeing Softy now come down off these levels. I'm very, very interested, Fabian and Ramin, about this 20-period retracement here at 420 and 2/3, 420 and 3/4 on Softy. The last time we came into the 20-period, we held it. We haven't been at the 20-period since 9:55 this morning. It's almost 12:10 now. Here we go. We're at 420.80 or so. We just got a quick touch at 470s. So spready is Microsoft, obviously $420 name. We should anticipate that there will be spreads between the bid and the ask. So I'm going to wait to see, as I did prior with Apple curling off the 20-period, whether the soft one wants to respect the 20-period or not. On the 5, I'm charting off the 5, guys. So anytime I'm talking about the 50 or the 20 or the 10 or the whatever, the 200, I'm talking about always off the 5. And it is. Now, we're getting that bottoming tail candle right off the 20-period. And here we go, 421 possibly incoming again on Softy. Let's see if this 20-period holds up. I'll definitely be interested in a long here.
Yeah, that Microsoft is certainly one to look at for sure. I know Sharif is very deeply interested. He's got a hard interest in Microsoft. Also, TQQs. We bounced for whatever reason. I wanted 30s, right? We get to 40s, we're like, bounce a little bit. Like I said, risking into 55s if we stay, and that was literally because I averaged the 2 levels I like, which are 53, 57. So if we get above 55s, I have to say bye, bye, bye. We're not in sync. I got to go. Also, I want to talk about this Amazon. Shout out to Kyle Burdett, apparently covering the bulk of this position, having a small piece for the dream on Amazon. I am kind of kicking myself for not getting the 75 short, but you know what? I'd rather not jump into it. Now you might be like, Adara, what are these triangles in your chart doing then? I'd love to explain that. Initially, I was interested in getting a small position here at 185.20s. Then I'm like, oh, how am I already in this? Then I realized, oh my gosh, Adara, you are long Amazon. You don't want that. So I got out. It was a fat finger move. Happy I got out, made a penny per share in there. So no, I'm joking. We're not going to pat ourselves in the back, but I just wanted to talk about why those triangles are there. Right now, though, the TQs, we have to see what we do on the TQs. Hopefully, we might have to get some ice cream here, from DQ, because this might be a little bit too frosty, and I want that hot fire. I think I got lost somewhere along the way.
It's all good.
How are you doing? And you got your softie?
Yeah, we're printing on softie now. So another 20-period hold here on a trending name, but it is quite volatile, and wow, it's moving here. Okay, so it just popped up. I did get filled at that 421.15-ish area, but right back down below my entry it goes for the remaining amount. So I'm going to pack my patience here as a lot of volatility is now picking up here on the soft one. Right back above we go again. Go soft one. I want I want a 421.50 possible cover here on said long. We're up a 1.25% on Microsoft. I don't have a specific catalyst right here, but it could be something, with the AI event with OpenAI kind of holding over, and Google I/O, obviously. There was a lot of overlap, let's be honest, between the Google I/O event and what we saw from OpenAI the day prior, and I mean, that's really not a shock to me. So we'll continue to watch here. I'll pack my patience with softie at this level, but it is having trouble breaking through and holding above that 421, but it is a $420 name. Like, we really need to give this one a little bit of room. Apple is right back into 190 again. It's 2 pennies off that level. The dead one has been knocking on the door of 190 all morning long. The first touch we got at 190 was at 10:40 this morning. So an hour and a while now, an hour and a half of consolidation at that 190 level on AAPL. We'll have to wait and see what it does. If it ranges there, it ranges. We'll continue to watch that. Tesla also starting to curl here, but it's still within the range. I don't want to, I'm not going to play that range. So I'm just going to continue to see here if softie can hold this 20 period and maybe curl its way back near high days.
I'm not going to play that range. Words I've never said. No, I'm joking. I have said it in the past, but I wanted to make that joke. I did as well. I said I still liked IWM. I got short IWM. And so initially I said I like the long at 209s, right? But if things flip, I'm okay flipping with them. I am risking into 209. No, I'm not risking into 209. I'm risking into 208.90. Why? Because look at this crazily bullish candle. We wicked down here, we bounced off the 90 MA, so that 208.90 could be a nice little pièce de résistance for my IWM trade. I'm aware we bounced off VWAP that I do see, and that's why I want to be out of here by the time we get to 60s. Trying to get about 20 pennies with at least half my position. Like, we know what I like. I scalpulate, right? So I have levels in mind, which is going to be half out at 208.60, other half piece for Dream. Dream probably going to end around 208.34s because that was that earlier resistance support chop and turn that I like. But yeah, basically, like, you have to flip your dreams according to plan. And so for me right now, I'll get 208.60s if I can. If not, I'm willing to scalp out earlier, risking 10 pennies. Also, TQs bounced. I bounced out of them. I was aware this was a bit of a riskier trade because we did have that bullish candle. If I'd scalped out a little bit better, it would have been fine, but I just didn't like that we were continuing to try to push back past 60s. I don't have any other trades on this. TQQs and I are not always, I feel like I don't always read these properly. It's a hard thing with trading futures, even a derivative of the futures. Something I'm definitely still working on, but that's what's great about these markets. It's a learning curve. Also, I want to look at a meme adjacent name that for some reason is on my side chart, in case anybody's looking at it. Robinhood. All good in the hood here, continuing to bounce a couple times off that 1820, wicking down into 1850. Don't have a huge level on this. Kind of looked like a bull flag, but then we had a bit of a roundy top that we're now trying to break above. Robinhood seems like it doesn't know what it wants to be when it grows up. So in that case, unfortunately, I can't take it to the prom. Like, I need to be going to the dance with someone who knows what it wants to be, knows what it wants from life, what university it's going to. And I'm not seeing that from Robinhood right now. This analogy got really weird. But yeah, AMD, watching that around VWAP as well, there could be something. Right now, happy with my IWM.
All right. The dead one is at 190 and printed a new high a day, 190.09. It's at 190 right now. You can see it. It's dancing a little bit above, a little bit below. Keep your eye out on Apple. Obviously, something is afoot with this 190 area. How it resolves, I don't know. Whether we reject off it or claim it, but it's obviously in play on the day. So keep your eye on 190. I don't know what your plan is for this. Mine, I'm still buy short on Apple by end of day. Anyway, keep your eye on that. I haven't seen anything come out of Qashqai quite yet. I've been looking on my blotter, no leaks. So it could be, you know, it could be untelevised or unbroadcasted or whatever it is. So we'll keep eyes on that. But we do have a lesson, right? We got to do the lesson du jour, baby. And we're talking about moving average crossovers all week long. And today ain't going to be no different. Today, oh, good, there we go. Today, though, we're talking about confirmation strategies for stronger signals when you are using these moving average crossovers. So welcome, traders. Moving average crossovers are fantastic trend identification tools, but relying solely on them can be quite risky. So today, we're going to explore how to confirm crossover signals using other technical indicators, building what we want is a more robust trading strategy. So let's get right to business. So crossovers, they're just the start, right? So imagine you see a golden crossover, which we know is a bullish signal. Exciting, right? But hold on, the market can be one tricky beast. And false signals do definitely happen. Here's why confirmation is crucial. Because market volatility can absolutely bamboozle you, for lack of a better word. So crossovers can be misleading during volatile periods. Prices might whipsaw, which means, you know, reverse sharply off a pop. Shortly after a crossover, leading to losing trades. So we need confirmation in order to avoid that. There's also the lagging indicator effect of the moving average. They are inherently lagging, obviously, meaning they react to past price movements. Confirmation helps gauge current market sentiment and potential future direction. So we have two issues with the moving average crossovers. Just to kind of put it simply, they whipsaw during more volatile time periods and they are lagging by definition. So how do we kind of alleviate some of the issues with the crossovers? Well, we can explore these other technical indicators. And the one that I want to start with first are momentum indicators. So these assess the speed and the direction of price movements. Popular examples of momentum indicators are the relative strength index, RSI. But there's also stochastic oscillator as well. Those are both what we call momentum indicators. So look for our RSI values to move above 30, indicating that they're moving out of oversold conditions. So what you're looking for here is you want to kind of have the crossover happen, not simultaneously, but maybe in close proximity to the move out of RSI out of 30. So if it was an oversold state on the 4-hour, whatever you're charting on, and it's moving out of there as the, say, the 50 crosses over the 200 or the 10 crossover the 20, whatever you're charting, whatever you're using as your moving averages, look for that. Conversely, if you're looking for the death cross, for example, the 10 to cross down into the 20, you want to see the RSI drop below 70 from overbought territory into the kind of the neutral range between that 30 and that 70. That's kind of like the neutral zone, right? With 70 to 30 being overbought and 30 to 0 being oversold, okay? So that's what we're looking for. We're looking for confluence between the moving average and RSI coming out of overbought or oversold territory. But that may not always happen. That's the thing. So you've got to have other tools in your toolkit, and that's what we're going to talk about now. Volume analysis, also very important here. Healthy trends are often accompanied by increasing trading volume on breakouts after a crossover. Conversely, low volume crossovers might be less reliable. So keep your eye on volume and price action. Super important as well, almost maybe the most important. Support and resistance levels play a very crucial role. Look for the crossovers on the moving averages that you're using to actually happen at areas of support and resistance. What do I mean by that? So if you were to get the golden cross, for example, the 50 crossing above the 200 at $200 on Apple, that would be fantastic. Conversely, if you were to get the death cross, the 50 crossing down below the 200 on Apple at $165, that would be also very good. We know $200 on Apple and $165 are both key areas of support and resistance. If you were to get crossovers at those levels, that would be another confirmatory indicator, okay? And here is a fantastic chart by Adira kind of showing just that. Yeah, well, she added it in, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So there we go. We get the crossover right there, and simultaneously we come out of oversold territory on the RSI. That's kind of what we're looking for there, okay? So how do you build your confirmation arsenal, right? There's no one-size-fits-all approach, Dara. Here are some popular confirmation strategies. So the first one is the one we alluded to earlier, the crossover plus the momentum indicator, right? So you're combining the crossover signal with an RSI or stochastic oscillator reading that aligns with your expected direction. But there's more. You could use the crossover plus price action plus volume. In this instance, you'll be looking for a crossover happening around a breakout or breakdown area, depending on whether you're long or short, with a surge in trading volume to confirm that signal. So multiple different ways you can approach this. And here is another excellent chart. You have the 50 period here crossing above VWAP, not one that I personally use, but it is followed by volume and price action breakout where there was a key area of resistance. So great example there. Look for price action support with volume plus the crossover, or look for the crossover with RSI or stochastic support. And remember, guys, confirmation, it's not a guarantee by any means, but it definitely increases your chances of catching valid trends and avoiding the false positives. But by no means it is a guarantee. And always think about a multi-indicator approach to any trading style you take, right? You don't want to put too much stock into one basket. You want to kind of have your hand in every cookie jar, so to speak. So don't get overwhelmed. Start by mastering a few key indicators and how they work with crossovers, and then gradually build your technical analysis toolbox for more comprehensive confirmation
strategies. Yeah, you know, what wasn't a strategy was IWM. I got out, and honestly, if I had scalped it out at 10 pennies, it would have been fine. It wasn't. It's all good. You know what I mean? You got to learn to shake it off. And the thing is that I'm trying to do more is it's like, would you regret not taking the trade? I would have regretted not trying this IWM. I like that we had that rejection. We were below the 90 MA. It gave me about 10 pennies. I wanted minimum 20, so I had to leave. This 208.90 area, though, I got out because that was my out, right? My stop. But we are now, oddly enough, kind of still rejecting. So I'm like, oh no, I'm not rejecting you, IWM, let me put it that way. That is for certain. I got long AMD. I have a lot of complicated feelings about this trade. So I'm gonna, therapize about it for a moment. No, I'm joking. I'm risking 13 pennies. I wanna see what we do with 84s, which is basically confluence with VWAP, but also, look at where we had that little top and turn candle earlier, that very bullish candle. That's the same area. Why did I get long here? I watched this a couple times. I noticed we get into 90s, then we bounce. Also, this chart reflects that. It's a VWAP bounce. Are other aspects of it a little bit bearish, including these lower highs? Yes. Do I think we could maybe get like 157.25, which I'd be pleased to punch with because I'm only risking about 13 pennies? Yes. So I'm okay with this trade. I have a size that I can live with. Nothing massive, nothing small, enough that I can piece this out. Pleased as dang punch. I want to shout out Sean yesterday in the market recap. He said, Adara, maybe just consider, focus on smaller sizes and just taking trades that you're okay with and everything like that. And yeah, having confidence I think is huge. I had confidence in IWM, and I darn tootin' have confidence in this AMD. I want to see us break above the 90 MA. We know that's the level I like. I want to see what we do at 25s, but sometimes you just have to have the impetus to take the trade in the first place. Right. And so everyone honestly here, both in the chat and on the floor, has helped me out with that. So yeah, it's a good feeling being an AMD. You know what's not a good feeling though is one of the most notoriously hawkish Feds taking the mic right now. The
Cashman is dropping hot lines, and now the lines are starting to reach the wire over here. Kashkari, we probably need to sit here for a while longer to figure out where inflation is headed. Fed's Kashkari says big question mark now is how restrictive is policy right now? We probably need to sit here out for a while longer to figure out where inflation is headed. We'll keep getting those to you as they keep coming in here on said blotter, news blotter that is. He's also dropping hot lines about housing. Fed's Kashkari says housing is an area I'm very focused on. I bet. It's 1/3 of CPI, bro. So keep your eye on that. I know we're having all sorts of issues with that on this side of the border. Rent awfully high here, giving basically Gen Z a lot of trouble, and through no fault of their own, by the way. Fed's Kashkari says Fed is focused on underlying demand in the economy to get inflation down. Americans have been spending more than I would have expected. Yes, credit card debt at all-time highs. He's not saying anything wrong here. So we'll keep an eye out on his comments. So far, though, I really haven't seen anything market moving, nor has the market reacted in such a way. We've been dancing with 18.6 for quite a while now. About an hour and 20 minutes was the first time we got into that 18.6 area. We're still holding up around there. Basically a flat top, so to speak, at 18.6 on the NQ June contract. 18.605 is technically the HOD. It was a nice move here, kind of maybe foreshadowing what we get later. This drop on the NQ into the 20 period, you had a double bottom there, and then right back up we go. So you like to see that. I mean, I would. As a trend trader, you want to see it come off a key area of technical support on the moving average and then kind of come back into those highs. We're not getting the flat top breakout on 18.6 in the kind of the same way. We're not getting the flat top breakout at 190 on AAPL. So I didn't expect this on Apple. I figured, you know, if we touched 190, it would either be a break or a reject, and that hasn't happened. We're actually ranging at the 190 level. I didn't expect it. So great look right now. I swear to God, anytime I say range, she peeks over. It's so funny. She's like, put her head over. I have a friend who anytime I have food will go like this. Like literally, yeah, and he'll like stretch out his face too. And so that was kind of like that, but with the range thing, so that was funny. Yeah, good look here. Okay, I want to mention the Amazon. I know Big Kyle was telling you to look at Amazon earlier. Look at this level here on the Zon. I like it because, number one, it's VWAP, but we were using VWAP the other way. We were using it as resistance. Now we're coming into that 184.50 as a level of support. And it's not just a VWAP. There was price action resistance there too. So I want to see if this 184.50 general area holds up here on the Zon, or we continue to print into lowers. I'm not going to just jump in willy-nilly. It's going to have to prove to me that VWAP is the real deal and it's going to bounce off there. Otherwise, I'm not taking the long.
Yeah, you're not going to go longs on?
No.
Yeah, no.
Not until I see what I want.
Exactly. Yeah, you know, you want to make sure that you keep all the moves at bay, those before you figure out what you want to do there. Some of them are a lot of them are very lame, but I appreciate that. Microsoft, I have thoughts on Microsoft. I know Sharif was killing that 421 level earlier. So I think that 421 is absolutely valid, but 421 actually getting spicier and spicier. Support. Then we form support, and we have like a nice slow burn support here. These wicks to the downside, then we're popping up. If we can't get into that 421.80 into 422s with the viciousness here, this could be a bit of a head and shoulders. In which case, I have no qualms about shorting Amazon. This is not Amazon. Microsoft, if we break below 421. I think we're going to try to maybe make a higher high here, so maybe I spoke too soon, but that is one look I do like on MSFT. AMD I got out of perhaps a bit too soon, but I did not like what we were doing. I wanted, like I said, basically where we are now, both 30s, 25s, but we had this 157.20 that we sold off pretty viciously. When I say viciously, it wasn't that bad. I should have stayed in. We basically got to my point of entry, and I was like, Adara, I don't know if you want to be here anymore. Just, if we can't hold this 90 MA, just get out. So I got out 157.13s, made about 16 pennies, so nothing horrible, but it's also a little bit, maybe I should have been more patient. So something for me to learn from. Scalpulated, took profit, so I can't be too upset. Mr. Stressla, though. I still, like I said earlier, I think this could be a flat top break at 175. Shout out to the man to my right, whose name is Sean, who is currently standing very cool. He's not standing, he's sitting. Cool, calm, and composed, and ready to strike. I think Tesla's also maybe getting ready to strike here. I like this range that Sharif pointed out earlier, but I think the fact that we have these higher lows and a flat top, I don't know what that sound was, but I think we could maybe break to the upside here. I want to watch. If we get to VWAP and we bounce, I will go long here, but I don't think I want to short this range. This is, you know, I love a range, but it has to make sense. Apple flying to the upside here in just a snapple. We get Apple 190 20. So that's a great look for AAPL, much like Tesla, having that chop and turn at a level before breaking above. TQ is doing the same thing here. IWM back at 209. So there's a lot of things that are looking interesting in a lot of areas. Let's visit our little meme levels here. Let's take a look at GME. GME below the 90 MA. Now, I said I like that curl into VWAP. We couldn't sustain it, though. Currently below the 90 MA. 34 is a level I really like on GME. I talked about this a little bit earlier. I think we actually kind of had a range on it for a little bit. Repeated rejections at 34, bouncing at 31. Then we get into VWAP, right? And we tried to curl up here, higher highs, higher lows. Get to VWAP, we reject. Look where it's forming at resistance again. That's right, our old pal, 34. So let's take a look there. What else is happening at GME? Let's take a look at AMC, which I think Sharif had some really nice reads on, but my turn to step into the movie theater and tell you guys what I
Dead one
think.
popped.
It did pop. Apple did pop, but I said it snappled.
Obi was watching the dead one. He's in a trade on that, and Wick shimmied him out. Oh. Yeah, because he said it dipped aggressively into 85s, and there it is. Can I show this quick?
Yeah, please do.
Yeah, this 190, 189, 85 probably stopped out a lot of people who were trying to play a tighter range, and there it goes. So I guess I'm wrong, because I was thinking a rejection on Apple. I'm not. Yeah. Like, I don't want a rejection on Apple. I'm long in the long term, obviously, but that was my bias, and I was wrong. So we'll continue to watch that. So now 190.21 HOD here, Darren. Now, I don't know how to play this. Long? Sean is long on AAPL right now, so keep your eye out on that. More Trader TV. Sean's positions all over that. Keep your eye out on Apple to hold this 190 area. I'm thinking, do I take a dip into 190? Do I wait or do I go here, right? That's the thing. Shout out to the Katina man. It's a print factory on the right side of the desk there. Keep your eye out on his trades while I try to make up my mind on mine. I'm not sure how to get into here. I think I'm just going to put in a 190 defend on AAPL, and if it comes back down to that level, then we'll get long. So let's go ahead and put 190.05 to sit there on the. Oh, I took it short. I have fat fingers, so I just got out of that real quick. 190.05 we're going to put in on Apple right there.
Yeah, I'm trying to take meta short. Speaking of things that go bump in the night. No, that didn't even make sense. If we break above 475, I'm getting out. I am aware we do have slightly higher lows here, but I think the range has kind of won out overall. If we stay below 475, I'm staying alive in the short. I want minimum this 470, 450. You might be like, that's kind of a random level. Perhaps it is. Okay, meta, your spread is, I thought it'd be getting better, but it's really not. So with that spread, I just want to get out of this. This was not like the best executed trade of anyone's life here, mind you, but it was a level I liked. The spread, I think I forgot about how spready this name is. Happy I got it where I did. Maybe not a trade I had enough confidence in to get involved in the first place. Pretty much flat in the day right now, so please this punch. Trying to take trades I like. Tesla, looking like it's trying to prove me right for not shorting that, so that's a nice look there. TSLA. NVIDIA, I haven't looked at you in a while. I had that one trade on it. Okay. Qs are at highs. If NVIDIA can bounce off this double top, previous double top, at 944, like 70s, I'm going long. But I don't know if it can. I think we have confluence with the Qs, that upside move. I think we do have that level that I really like. I don't like this big old red candle, but also I think that this is a level that could hold up. If I watch the book like a crazy person, which is what I have to do every time I trade NVIDIA, I think there could be some success had in this trade. But I'd have to think of it a stop as well, because right now I don't have a stop on this. Yeah, this is. We might have to get NVIDIA if I see something I like on this. Yeah, Microsoft, like I said, I like that 421.50 rejection. That could be an area. I don't have much of a read, but I am sure, you betta, I'm glad I got out of meta here. Like, this is a way to make a bad trade less bad. Still a bad trade, but I got out. I risked my 20 pennies and got out instead of getting involved in this pop. Because I was trying to short that top.
Yeah.
So happy with that.
It was a range.
Yeah, it was a range, and then it wasn't a range. And I didn't feel 100% confident getting in, so I probably shouldn't have gotten in the first place, but I tried. Very little loss, very little risk. You got to execute stuff you like. That's what I have to say to that.
Agree.
How are you doing?
I'm trying to weasel my way into NVDL. I do like your analysis, and I'm long now NVDL. I'm looking for a 10-period hold on the 5 on NVIDIA. That's generally like that 944 area. You gotta talk about NVIDIA's ranges with like, in the way that I talk about a 1 or 2 penny range on a small cap gapper, you almost have to talk about 50 penny, $1 ranges on NVDA in that same fashion. So we'll see I don't want to call it the equivalent level, but the level that I got in here is one that I like here on NVDL. It's 43 bucks. There's an obvious level of resistance at 43. Earlier, 1114 reject. Here, 1137 reject, and then multiple rejections between 1150 and 1159. Then we break it, and now I want to see it use as support. So that's my thesis here. Let's see what happens. We take an L, we take an L. That's the nature of the beast. We're going to put a beak wetter at 43.10. My out is going to be the break of this level over here. 42.85 is going to be my line in the sand. Let's see if NVDA wants to hold up the 20 period on NVIDIA. So if we get a deeper retracement and it's not a 10 period retracement, it's more, if we get that, that will be around 472 3/4, 472, nice try, bro. 942 3/4, 943-ish area on NVDA, not NVDL. So we'll keep eyes on that. The dip trade on Apple seems to go, it's going to go unfilled here. It seems as if for the way, because 190.32 now HOD. So unless this really comes back down to give me that 05 prints, then I'm destined to go unfill here on the dead one AAPL. Great move up, and I could not be happier as a long-term holder. I've been holding this monster since, when did I buy this? August. Initially, I got into this thing. And
you started that early.
I got it with Lee, and I got it with Caterpillar, and I got it with UNG, Matt Gas. Lost $1.25
It's
on
the
the
only survivor.
Yeah, well, you know, Cat, I should have been holding Cat still, because Cat's still going up like a beast.
That's true.
Cat? It's at 354. At least I thought it was. The high was, yeah, something like that, Katina, man, and it sold off aggressively. It's at 360.43 today, so not a bad look. Anyway, so we'll see exactly what we get. Long NVDL, looking for a hold of the 10 period on the 5 on NVIDIA there.
Yeah, I'm also in NVIDIA. We're basically flat on this
Bang.
right now, 944.66. I really like this point of entry. However, I'm very cognizant of the fact, again, I'm always really paranoid about that 9 EMA because it can be a level. If this resistant, if we start rejecting here, but I hope we don't for both of our sakes. I think this could be a nice look. I think as well for context, that 43 you identified for NVDL, it's going to be roughly 945 on NVDA. I want 946s. So I want this a little bit ambitious, but actually I don't really think it's that ambitious because we've printed higher.
Yeah.
I think we can do it. I would just like us to get off the schneid a little bit here. Shout out to Neil and sometimes Sharif. But yeah, okay, NVIDIA, do your thing, 21. This Microsoft, oh yeah, okay, Qs are giving me some confidence, feeling good. If you have confidence in a trade, you have to have confidence in a trade. That is maybe one of the most, repetitive things that has been said, but I think if you like an area, you like an area. If we break below 944s decisively, I'm gonna have to go. Microsoft giving me that rejection I kind of wanted, but I still think that support at 421 is too strong. As I mentioned earlier, if I do go short this name, I am going short this name at 421 and not a moment sooner. We both are, I think, just NVIDIA just fell a little bit here, nothing too major. I should not be watching the P&L the way I am. It's all good in the hood. We just want that move to the upside. Let's see how GME is doing, because I said I did not like GME below that 9 EMA, not one I was going to touch. And then people were like, oh, maybe GME will keep going. GME is below the 9 EMA. I don't have a short on this. I don't have a long on this. If we bounce off 31, though, like I said, this could be an area I like. If not, just for a quick bounce, because a range is a range is a range is a range is a range. You know what I mean? So if I see a range I like, I shall take the range that I like. Meta. Oh, Meta's not on the NY, Adara, good Lord. Meta coming up here. If we bounce off that previous top around 470, 480s, that's what I want. But right now, I want NVIDIA to sort out its life. How are you doing? I'm
good. I'm reading Pretty Panda's comment, and I have no idea what you're talking about. I get it, but look, try to feel things. I mean, don't be emotionless. But shout out to Pretty Panda. I don't know what that drop was on what's GME. I'm watching it. I mean, we're still at 33s, obviously. I've been short bias on the memes all day. Okay, I haven't got the Katina man has secured me a plethora of shorts on AMC. I didn't get to use them here. I was in another trade, but there was that 50 pop. I should have been using it there because yet again, it popped into the 50 and then it dropped again. Anyway, another move into the 50 and then these guys are going to get used 100%. We'll see what we get. AMC, GME, I'm short bias on both. Now, I want to mention something else here. Where was it? Yes, Amazon is doing things. The ZON is getting a nice little double bottom off the volume weighted average price, and now it's curling back up here, and it's breaking through, you know, well, these moving averages really haven't featured today on Amazon. So anyway, Amazon now 185.25. It's been putting in incrementally higher lows since the morning, right? There has been a little bit of bamboozlement. This rejection off the 20 probably, the 200, excuse me, probably stopped some people out, especially through the break of 186. But it's a nice VWAP hold here, double bottom, and into the $0.25 again goes Amazon. Not a bad look there. I've been waiting here on NVDL to get filled. I'm seeing 7 show up, sometimes 8 show up. There now 8 showing up here on said ask. I'm looking for a bigger move up to get filled, but one isn't coming at the moment, so I'm going to try to pack my patience. Yeah, so that's it. What else am I looking at here? Wow, Goggles is on the way down. So it's been a bit of a tougher day today for Google. I mean, it's not negative, but it's up a third. But look how ugly this chart is. And you know, you haven't seen these uglier looking charts today on the Mag 7. Anyway, it looks like since it broke down below the volume weighted average price at around 11.15, all the pops have rejected off the 10. So now the 10 acting as a resistance here on the 5 for Google. So I'm all ears, I'm all eyes. If we can get something here on Goggles, I will definitely be interested for a pop offset 10. Keep your eye out though for this 170 1/3. That is the closing print on the day. Could act as support. Darwin. Premier League clubs to vote on proposal to scrap VAR from next season. Seems up your alley. I don't know how I feel about that, dude. I think VAR brings an element of legitimacy. Sure, it slows down the game, but I'd rather get it right and waste a little bit more time, especially since we're adding like 10 minutes now to every half for lost time. That's one. Two, you know they're adding an automatic offside. It's going to be pseudo-automatic. Like there's going to be, most of the calls are going to be automatically done. So I don't see them removing technology so much as I see them adding. A bit of a bamboozler there for me. I'm not really sure what to make of that. So yeah, shout out to Darwin. Thank you for letting me know. I had no idea.
What's VAR?
Oh, video assistant referee. It's kind of how they get everything right.
That
Soccer
makes
never
sense.
had video replay, right?
Oh, right.
So now
I
it
didn't know
has.
that.
Yeah, it didn't. And it was horrible to watch there because you'd see offside goals given, goals that were not goals given. It was a whole thing. And then they.
Very messy.
Yeah. It took them a hot minute to get technology, and when technology had been in a bunch of other sports. Anyway, topping tail candle coming on the future here at 18.6, and it's not helping my NVDL trade. Down goes NVIDIA. Let's see now if it holds off this 20-period moving average. I'm inclined to go long here on said 20-period dip because most of the dips have held up at the 20. I put in my beak wetter to get long there. It's not filling. I don't know why. 92 showing up. I should be getting filled here. That's really frustrating, man. It goes down to 88s. How are you not going to fill me, bro? All right, we'll see exactly. 942.5, the 20-period on NVDA. That is going to be my line in the sand if that breaks. There.
Yeah, I got out. I should have gotten out earlier, and I'm actually kind of upset at myself. Basically flat on NVIDIA now, down in the day. But my bigger issue is that I said I did not love the fact that I thought maybe we were giving up the support at 944. So at that point, I should have just scalped out around 945s. That's what I should have done. I didn't do it. And you know what? But shout out to, as you always say, I hope you print, and I do mean it. I think, we were both long that name, but we definitely had different plays, different strategies. I was playing NVDA, you're playing NVDL.
Exactly.
At this point, I think for my scalp purposes, I now maybe want to short 944, potentially, if that's an area. But right now, I just a little bit kicking myself for not trusting my instincts as much as I should have on that trade and giving up what was, a nice little move earlier. But you have to take trades you liked. I did like that trade. I just probably should have managed it a little bit better than I did, and I think that was the bigger issue. What else happening? Amazon, yeah, you called out the zone. And I think right now this one's kind of in the zone, rejecting off that area earlier of 185.16. That could be a look for me. I don't want to rush into anything though. Just try not to beat myself up too hard over NVIDIA. Just go to, as Obi always says, where's the next trade? Right now, that Tesla is a nice look, continuing to climb to the upside. But as someone who prefers scalping, that might not be my look. IWM was another one I was looking at earlier, so we'll have to see how that goes. Okay, IWM, where are you at?
Do you want me to take over?
Yeah, no, it's not. I was just trying to pull up the chart. We're bouncing off the 90 EMA here still. So I should have probably flipped long instead of my short when I noticed we got to that 208.90 area and held support because I knew I liked that area. But c'est la vie, you only have so many eyeballs in your head, so many side charts, and so much time. Fare you well, NVIDIA. Hopefully you give Sharif lots of moolah.
Hopefully. It's I don't know. I don't want to jinx it, so I'm not going to talk about it. But
Okay.
Yeah, we'll see if it holds up at the 20. If it does, great. If it doesn't, I'm going to get stopped out. Stop is already in place. Now with my DCA, 97 is where I'm long, so I'm 2 pennies out of the money currently. Gorev, Adara, Sharif, Disney making a good V-shaped recovery. Potential longs from here. Absolutely. We'll have a look at Disney for you, sir. Dang it. Where did my RSI chart go? That's okay. Let's go to daily movers. Let's take off edible because it's no longer edible. Let's go to DIS.
I like that.
I know, right? Gorev, I got to tell you, brother, I'm thinking a little bit differently here than you. I see what you're seeing. There could be an inverse head and shoulders at play here. You're absolutely right that this could be a nice little move back up. And what we know is inverse head and shoulders are reversal patterns. So what do they need to be preceded by? A downtrend for them to be, to be accurate, textbook version. So right now, what we're getting is a nice move into that 101.5, a nice move back up into 102.5. But what I'm seeing here is a straddling of VWAP from the south side. So a bit of a tougher look there. Let's see if this one can break through VWAP. If it can, I definitely would be interested to see an inverse head and shoulders manifest here. Keep your eye out for the neckline break. The neckline break looks to be around that 102.75, 103 area, just a skosh above the volume weighted average price. Go NVIDIA. There we go, nicely here. We're gonna wet our beak on some profits as I was pleased as dang punch that I had the confidence to add at the 20 period. Guys, I'm going to say it again. I don't care how boring I sound. When a stock is trending, like moving up and to the right, my observation has been the superficial retracements come into the 10, the deeper retracements come into the 20. It's not a hard and fast rule, but it's been my observation as of late, and I'm sticking to that, Adair.
Yeah, I mean, congrats to you. That's
Thank
awesome.
you.
I'm really happy for you with that. I'm a little sad at myself. I didn't have the confidence to keep going, but you know what we do here is we congratulate everybody. So shout out to anybody who got that. Shout out to Sharif as well for killing that trade. I still like the idea if we keep not being able to break above that 946-ish with a viciousness, then I might take it short, but I don't want to revenge trade either, so that's why I'm trying to be cognizant of that. That's why I didn't get involved yet. So yeah, you gotta, you could be a little bit like bummed. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little mildly bummed, but mostly I'm happy here for Sharif for killing it. And because I think that's an awesome trade. And you know what, like you always go into trades knowing the risk. If you're confident with the trade you took, I think that matters as well. So I'm confident with what I did not manage it the best, and c'est la vie. Someone was mentioning, okay, past overdose, mentioning PFE to me. Let's take a look at Pfizer. Okay. Okay, this is a nice look. Do you think we can touch the 50 period on the daily? I don't have my 50 period on my chart here on Pfizer. You know what I'll say here for PFE on the daily chart is I think the main level that I found interesting here is going to be that 28 that we broke above. I think that was previous resistance. We touch it once, we touch it twice, we fall pretty aggressively. Nice double bottom around 25. Then we come again at 28, push above here, nice look. Now this is interesting. You know what I think is interesting to me? This 29 area, look what formed a support earlier on November 13th. That's right, 29. So support and resistance can flip. It'd be nice to see. I think if we break above this 29, I think that could be a nice look on the daily. That is my take. Then the next level is going to be all this chop and all this churn at 30-30. Support, resistance, resistance, resistance. If we break above 30-30, then that's $30.30. I think that could be a nice level as well. But this PFE on the daily chart, I think trying to turn around with that double bottom we got. Ahmed Anwala, thank you so much for the 10 AED super chat. I'm done early today. Good luck all. Coin and QQQ, nice day. Indeed, yeah, those QQQs were nice. That breakout. I haven't looked at Coinbase all day, so let's see if I want to see if I can give my 2 cents on Coinbase. Pun intended.
Can I just say something about PFE? I've been waiting to get into Pfizer for a hot minute, man.
What's your
yeah. I haven't really had technical levels. It's been more of like a fundamental approach to it.
Yeah.
My old man loves this company. And so I guess maybe I'm a little biased, but yeah, I've been looking to weasel my way into Pfizer for a while.
I like
you got to assume that they're going to do a little bit better.
That's very cool. Yeah, Coinbase too this is a nice. Okay, I did my little sitting. I like this.
Oh my God.
Okay, resistance 212. Well, 211.50. Support 211.50. Support 211.50. 211.50 to me, nice little area on the base of coin. Much like Meta, I think if we can have this breakout and bounce off a previous level, that's where I would be a little bit interested. Meta, or not Meta, Coinbase, if you want to drop to like 213.30 and bounce, that'd be a nice look. Not one that I think I will trade, but I do like the look. I also want to take a quick look at EBS for Yoel Rania, because I know you mentioned that one earlier. So if you were still here, Yoel, shout out to you. This is, okay, I love this bounce around 560s. We had that resistance there, 560s. We have that nice little bit of chop and turn 560s. Come up, look where we reject and bounce again, 560s. I think this is a nice look. Let's see if there's anything on the daily for EBS, which is Emergent Biosolutions. Okay, this daily does not look like a small cap gapper for the most part. A lot of them you'll have like no movement and then a big move.
Absolutely.
Emergent Biosolutions is kind of emerging as a nice look here on this daily chart. I would say that 442 area, a little bit of interesting area for me, a little bit of chop and turn there earlier. Then we come back into a couple of days ago and we have a little bit of a bounce. I think we're coming into that previous support around 685. I think if we can break above 685 with the viciousness, that would be a nice look. Alas, though, this is a penny stock, or not a penny stock, it's a small capper. We're about $1 away. Don't know if we'll make it there, but I think Emergent Biosolution has some emerging opportunities, and someone is emerging victorious.
Yes,
from this trade, and
I'm happy with this. Thank you, Adira. Yeah, we got long originally at 01s, 4301s. We added DCA. Let's call a spade a spade. This wasn't a plain DCA, but I liked the 20-period retracement at 42.90. We wet our beak there at 43.01, then 43.07, then again, oh, come on, NVDL. It's continuing to go up. There's 43.15. I took it out at 13s, lucky number 13, baby. But alas, it is continuing to head up. NVDL, not NVDA, NVDL is up 7% on the day, so good look here for the derivative equity. I don't even know what to call this, but great move up, touching days highs. NVDA about 30 pennies was a second ago, off days highs, 946.87. You got to assume you make it all the way up into 946, you're going to knock on the door of 950. I mean, it's a $900 name. So possibly more to come from NVDA, but guess what has been giving you all day? And I know somebody who's in this trade, and it goes by the name of AAPL. It is at days highs. Wow. 190.47. Go, Apple, go. Sean's long Apple. Where are you long? 190. The Katina man is long at earlier, though, he had a way earlier position at 187.50. And then the reload for the second flat top break came in at 190. The Katina man is 47 pennies in the money as he got that flat top break and took that bad boy north. Now, I don't even know what to chart here on Apple. Let's have we been up these levels in a hot minute, man? All right, so the last time we were here on the dead one was February was the last time we were up here. Where is a key area of resistance? Well, you're not gonna be surprised. It's 190, right? But when you're looking at the 4-hour, pennies look, you can't even see the difference in the pennies here. So 190, definitely that level. Then we have whatever this day is, February 7th. That took us into 191. Okay, so the dollar here. And then this big boy drop, what was this? This was February 1st. I don't know if that was earnings or CPI or what. The high there was 191.75. And then, you know, everyone's probably looking at this crest over here because I know that's what I'm looking at. That's a 196 top there. So, I mean, lots of different levels here for AAPL, but it's definitely broken out of that range. We were talking 160s before, and then we started saying 170 flat top. Then 170 got broken, then we start saying 180 flat top. And then before our very eyes now, the 190 flat top got broken. I'm not going to complain about this as an investor. So AAPL, great day for it today. Let's see what else is moving. Let's go back out here. The 50 penny area is coming in here on the dead one any moment now. 190.49 high day on Apple. Meta, it's putting in that, you know, incrementally higher lows and higher highs. And now we're coming into that 475 and 3/4 top. This is where we were topping out all morning, but it looks like that level's going to break. I was thinking 475.50 was an interesting top. I was about to say definite, but you don't want to ever use those words when trading. It's breaking now through resistance level 1 on pivots. High a day is the IB high, 476.90. Shout out to Dan the Man Emmons. I saw him. He's back from vacay, baby. Apparently he was on a cruise. Lucky guy. Yeah, I wouldn't mind being on a cruise. Can you believe I've never been on a cruise?
You've never been on a cruise?
No, man. No. It's okay. Hopefully soon. Maybe one day.
Go on a cruise.
My parents, that's all they do. Princess. That's their only go-to move. Yeah, that's their line, princess. And they always go. I've never been on one. Anyway, so keeping an eye on Meta because I do like these resistance levels here, Ram. They look pretty good. What do you think of these levels, Ram? Good? No? She's not that impressed. Oh, I don't have my mic in. I can't hear her when she's dropping hot lines. Sorry, Ram.
She kind of went, If I heard her correctly, I would say it was not hot lines as much as it were confused sounds or like unsure sounds.
Fair. All right, what are you looking at, Adair?
I'm looking at Tesla. Okay.
Like it.
I made that face because Tesla was like, Adara, we don't want you right now. And I'm like, okay. Tesla did what Sharif, what the Cybertruck did to Sharif every time he tried to see it, and it would not let him go inside. Yeah, so Tesla, I really did like that 175.02s is I think what I wanted, which 175.05s bounced. I want 175.50s. That is really the goal here. I think we do have these higher highs, higher lows. I'm risking 17 pennies, trying to get out to, if we break below that 174.85 decisively. However, I am cognizant my risk management has been a little bit too tight. That's what got me on NVIDIA. If I had been a little bit less stingy, I probably would have been okay. But NVIDIA, if NVIDIA bounces off 945 again here, I do want that long. We're still having these higher lows in this flat top, and I don't want this to be a revenge trade. I want to be clear as well. That's why, as much as I was a little bit convinced at one point that the short was maybe in on this at that 944.60, because that was why I was kind of unsure in the position and a little annoyed at myself that I stayed as long as I did. I think NVIDIA could now potentially be a long, but again, I don't want to revenge this. If we have the 945 bounce, I'll take it. Teeny tiny position, scintilla of shares. If we don't get it, I'm not going to take it. And if I do take it, I should probably be scalpier about it because that's what got me earlier in that last trade on this. So in general, the motive is to be more scalpy. Why was I waiting for like a $1.40 move on NVIDIA when that's never really my type of play, right? So that's the type of thing you got to go. If I wanted 140s, if I wanted 496s, why wasn't I happy trying to take like 495.50, right? So I'm going to stop lamenting, but that's the look there. Get involved in Tesla, and then Tesla's like, actually, we really do want to test that area. I'm like, okay, Tesla, do your thing, whatever, it's fine. I want to get out, I'm going to get part of this position at 175.31s, and I'm being a little bit more concerted with my shares here because I think that with Tesla, you do sometimes want to give it a little bit more wiggle room to have this little Cybertruck move. That is the plan here. Take out part of this position around that previous flat top. Then we will save a piece for a dream. Where is that dream, you may ask? Maybe you didn't. If you did, that dream is going to be 175.50 and beyond. That's the look. Currently a couple pennies in Lamula on TSLA. Please just punch. I like that level Sharif mentioned on Meta. I wanted to take this long here off that 475-ish, and Meta has not given me that opportunity. But again, much like Meta, much like NVIDIA, I don't want to have a moment where I'm a little bit torn by revenge or my own dislike for my trading decisions, and that's why I don't want to get involved. That being said, though, if I see a level I like, I'm still not going to say no to it. Cough, cough, looking at you, NVIDIA. Bouncing a little bit at 945s, but not something I want to take heading into the lesson, that is for sure, because we are going to give you guys that lesson in a couple of minutes. But meanwhile, like Tesla, hopefully we have less learned here. I would love to get out of you before I start the lesson, but I would also like to make a profit on you. So Tesla and I have it a whole thing.
If there's any, okay, well, I just want to show this.
This is
the
crazy.
Cash Man is not a fan of crypto. Fed's Cash Curry, what?
That doesn't shock me.
No, it doesn't shock me either, but yeah, it's not going to really help his his cause with the people. Fed Kashkari reiterates his view that Bitcoin has little practical use, not an investment vehicle or a currency. Calm down there, Kashi. You know what I mean? Like, what is going on here? Anyway, all the institutions just, like Jamie Dimon comes to my mind. Hates it. I know, I can't help myself, dude. Jamie Dimon hates it, and now Morgan Stanley is investing. Not Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan's investing in it. So it's just, anyway, whatever. It looks like Kashkari's done talking because I haven't seen anything come out of there in a little bit. That crypto comment was from around 15 minutes ago, so it looks like he's done. Anyway, he started at 1, so I'm not surprised by that. All right, I'm still looking at NVDL here. I'm looking at Softy though. And the reason I'm looking at Softy is because I think it's leading this market with Apple. So I feel like Apple and Softy both just printed high days. Softy 422.10 and Apple 190.51. And that's precipitated a move here on the future. We've cleared 18.6 with some vigor. 18.634. We're coming down now into the 20s. But yeah, it has been kind of like a clearing of the level by the future. So good look. I don't have any trades right now, guys. I got to tell you the truth. Nothing's setting up for me. But, you know, as soon as something does, I will let you guys know for sure. I would be remiss if I wasn't looking at the dead one right now, Apple. I mean, it's really moving up.
Insulted.
I know.
It's okay. I mean, I love it when you call the dead one. So.
Cash and carry. I like that, Solo Crystal. That's jokes. I like that in the chat there. I'm looking possibly at a 10-period retracement here on Apple. That's about 190.25. The 20-period, if we get a deeper retracements, just a smidge above that 190 area. I think 190.08, 190.07. You'll recall last time we came into the 20 period here, which is the yellow solid line on my chart. We did a bit of a double bottom there, right at 1135, 1140, coming off that 20 period, and we moved up almost 90 cents off that bottom. It came into 52s, and we printed 51. So for all intents and purposes, $1. It looks like it's putting in a hammer candle now, looking to inch back into that $0.50 area, goes Apple, so I may not get filled on a retracement. And it also looks as if the soft one is right back up again above 422. It wants to take that 10-penny level, 422.10 HOD. That got put in a little earlier here on this topping tail candle at 1150. It looks like we're going to take that bad boy out again. Held the 20 like a dang glove on that retracement off that 422.10 rejection. Willis Addison, my man, $2 super chat. FFIE penny stock, high short interest runner spec. We talked about this one. Thanks for pointing it out. They did get a bit of a warning there from the NQ. I'm assuming it has to do with compliance, bringing their stock up above $1. Let's pull up that bad boy. FFIE, I had a nice trade on that yesterday off that $0.25. Call that?
Yeah, you did.
Off that $0.25, Adara, it touched 2/3 of $1 today, so it moved up nicely. I took a dip trade off the $0.25, rode that nicely for 5-penny winner on this name yesterday into about 30 some odd pennies, but it's well above that level. As you'll see, it's been continuing its move up. Here's the headline for Faraday Futures. Maybe we'll have Randy come in and tell us about the car if he comes in around now. Let me just pull up the headline here for you guys. Where is it? There was one from today. Was it from today, Adara?
I thought it was from today.
I'm not seeing it. Anyway, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all good. Anyway, moving up nicely. Let me just reiterate what the short float was. Shout out to Trade Ideas and the NOS boss and his crew. Make sure you're using code TraderTV20 if you want this platform that I'm using right here. And the short float is insane. 86 2/3% of the 42 million share float is shorted. Shout out to you, Willis Addison. Very high short interest, and he wrote that in capital letters, and justifiably so. This guy reports today too, after the bell, I believe. Earnings date May 15th. So this one has another added catalyst in that it reports earnings today. So keep your eye out on this one. This could become parabolic if it does better than expected. I don't know how it would. EVs, it's kind of a hard road to hoe now right now for these EVs. But in any event, let's put it up on the side chart here because it deserves some respect. Faraday futures up 131% on the day, knocking the door of that 68 penny area HOD. That, what was the pre-market high? 69, almost 70 pennies was that pre-market high, but we put that in super early at 5:30. But that was a decent amount of, like, look at this, guys. This 5:30 candle did 6.5 million shares at 5:30. At 5:30 a.m., something, it doesn't have to be a human, right?
That's true.
6.5 million when we put in that high a day, Adara. Well, the pre-market high at almost 70 pennies. So good day, good look for Faraday. I'm going to keep it up. Thanks, Willis Addison, for reminding about that. What else we got over here? Pretty Panda, man likes control of his printer. Don't go make your own money, peasants obey. I don't know what you're talking about, bro. What's happening over here? Charlie Taft, AMD but to bust out thanks to...
I know where that's going.
Oh, God. Okay. I got to read these before I read them. What's AMD doing?
Yeah, AMD's a great look. I had this long, one could say I got out a bit early, but one could also say I preserved the profit. That's how I'm going to choose to look at it. And honestly, like I said, I did not like that we had that rejection, so I can live with that. I also, like, to me, I don't know if it will. I want to be clear.
Oh.
I think AMD could, but if I may play devil's advocate for just a moment, as you know, the devil's attorney at law, as its as its lawyer here, as its defense counsel, I think that 157.60 might test once again first. And you might be like, Darren, that's kind of a random level. I don't know if it is. Look at that bounce we had earlier, bouncing off that previous resistance, right? Then we come again, we chop and turn a little bit, reject. Then we have a fall to the downside. We get back up and again, no, not quite yet. Then we come back up. So I think because of the level that we had there, what trade are we in, Sean? Oh, he's in Apple. And he said the dead one with like, not even the dead one. Sean just said dead one with more disdain than I've ever seen from Sean.
Oh, yeah, he didn't
Good vibes, Katina does not do disdain. And yet there, he just did a heck of a lot of disdain. But yeah, I don't know. I think AMD could break out, but I think we might get a retest first.
Randy, Faraday is up another 162% on the day. You want to come look at this chart, Randy? The Randy's here. Look at this. Okay, this is a continuation from yesterday. So we started moving yesterday. Look at this. We were at 11 pennies, Randy. And now we're about to break through, well, we broke through 75 pennies, 76 pennies, HOD. I think they got a listing warning from the NASDAQ. I can't find it. They got to bring their stock buck above buck. Good look here. Any updates, anything you can add on Faraday?
I don't follow Faraday that much. They're kind of off my radar. I know they're still around. Not enough volume, not enough creativity. I think they're just kind of neutral, kind of static to me. But can't hear me now? Thank you. They've fallen off my radar. They don't produce enough volume. They kind of have a static lineup. There's not a lot out there on them. So yeah, well, I'll keep an eye on them just for you.
I appreciate that. And they're $100,000 too, so it's not cheap, right? Shout out to Randy, always dropping hotlines. Anything I ask this man about cars, he's always got an answer. So yeah, he's my go-to guy. Thanks, Randy. Yeah, it's a hell of a move. I mean, you can't complain about that. We broke through day's highs, guys. That pre-market high of 70 pennies. Neil absolutely got killed on Faraday. Now Faraday is that high a day, 76 pennies. Go, FFIE, go. Let's see that dollar, baby. Faraday futures up 167% a day.
Yeah, we're gonna do the lesson of the day. I want to quickly talk though about Nvidia because I have like a lot of feelings on this name. I want to again congratulate Sharif for killing that pop into 946.
I appreciate you.
Off 43. I had this as well, but I will say I am paper-handed is the right word, right? When you like don't manage it as well as you should have.
Yes.
I paper-handed this. So I should have had more. I should have given myself more risk on Nvidia. I didn't give myself enough risk. Panic sold. Then I got back in the long. And I want to clarify, I don't see this as a revenge trade because I like the level. I watched just hold that 945 like a glove, and I said, you know what, Adara? I think you have to do this. I think you just have to try to take this. And I think don't put so much pressure on yourself to get the whole dollar level. If you get 60 pennies, get 60 pennies. That's what I ended up getting. I ended up getting 945.60 from 945 entry. I risked into about 944.50. And I was really tempted to sell. I was like, this thing's going to reject. This is not going to work. When I said, Adara, just because it didn't work before doesn't mean that you now have to use your earlier failure as an excuse to keep taking L's. You know, as 21 Savage says, taking less L's, making more M's. We didn't make any M's here, but we did make M for money. And I think more important than that, I had, because I think my biggest thing is not necessarily getting to revenge trades, but revenge avoid it. Like not trading because I had a bad trade in it before, right? So I didn't want to avoid NVIDIA just because I made a mistake earlier, right? So I said to Dara, do what you do. I don't want to say do what you do best, but do what you're most comfortable with, which is scalping. So I was able to scalp that out for 60 pennies. I do want to give another shout out to the man on my right, Sharif, for killing that NVDL, because that was awesome. But yeah, I mean, lesson time very soon. What else are you looking at here?
I'm still looking at Faraday right now. Now I'm going to become obsessed with Faraday because it is really moving here. I mean, we've done an insane amount of volume on it. What's the volume here? 590 million shares. I mean, we could probably hit $1 billion today. It's not beyond the realm, but we're about to hit 600. So great move here, breaking through the high, 81 pennies, right down into 73 we go. I would like something off 70. We talked about 70 being that pre-market high. I don't see price action resistance at 70 after the bell, but you know, that was the level, and it was done on 6.5 million shares at 5:50 a.m. this morning. I know it's a penny stock, so you know we have to look at it from that perspective, but that to me says a lot of interest really early on. So I'm interested here at 70 pennies on Faraday futures. It may not make it down there, and if it does, it could tank. It's a small cap gapper, let's be real about it. Heavily shorted flow. Trade Ideas is showing 86 2/3% of the 42 million share float is shorted. I heard somebody in the chat say something like 95%. So Trade Ideas could be a little bit dated. We're not really sure. The point is to really know that the short percentage on this is one of the highest I've seen since the meme craze of 2021 when GME and AMC and all these ones were like 150% short or something like that. It was over the actual amount of shares tradable. So Faraday could absolutely rock it, and it's already done 2 big boy days, you know, coming off 11 pennies yesterday, and now we're talking about 80 pennies. So I don't know how many multiples that is, but that's a great look, Ram. So I'm looking for a possible move here through $1, but I'm going to have to get in at a better price. And for me, you know, 70 pennies, 66 pennies, there's some action in and around there. We know we have price action resistance at 60. I don't know if we make it all the way down there, though. Good luck for Faraday. Just unsure how to get in. I'm going to keep watching this.
Yeah, hopefully that Faraday is fair to you today. That's what, you know, that's what we all hope. Yeah, you had a great trade on that yesterday.
I did.
Shout out. But yeah, no worries. Also, Ponzi wants a shout out from you.
Pons, what's going on there, Pons? Where's he at? Can I get a shout out? Thank you. I love this. You're so kind.
Yeah,
usually you're asking for a Lambo trade, right? I don't have any Lambo trades today for you, but I'll give you that shout out, Pons. Shout out to you, man. One of the OGs in the chat.
Shout out to Ponzi. I think for me that the Nissan Cube trade has been that 175 long off Tesla. I took that for about 20 pennies. But also the reason I bring up Tesla before I get into the lesson, the Lesla, is thank you guys for bringing this up in the chat. Electrek saying that, quote, Baidu talks about using Tesla robotaxi in China. Bit of a speculative story. We don't have a robotaxi yet. Elon said August 8th, so 8/8, but there's kind of been no updates on that. We had a story a little while back that apparently robotaxi regulators were like, he hasn't contacted us. So I don't really know, but yeah, I mean, Baidu saying that they will be using Tesla's robotaxi in China, so we'll have to take a look at that Electrek and see how that goes. Or not Electrek, we're going to take a look at that Baidu and Tesla story to see how that goes. Ramin is getting involved in the chat, which is one of our favorite things. But shout out again to Ramin and Fabian, always killing it. But also, another one of our favorite things is talking about lessons and lessons of the day. We don't have Neil's lesson of the day, but we do have our lesson, which is going to be about confirmation strategies for stronger signals when trading moving average crossovers. So let's just get back into the basics of crossovers here for a moment. Imagine you see a golden crossover. My brain read that as golden retriever for a second, and I was very confused. But imagine you see a golden crossover. That's going to be a bullish signal. Pretty exciting, right? Pretty enticing. However, the market can be a really tricky beast, so you want to make sure you wait because there could be other things that could mess with your head and other aspects beyond that chart pattern that are worth noting. Why is this important? Because, you know, market volatility can be off the charts. Pun not even intended there. Crossovers can be misleading during volatile periods, and prices might whipsaw or reverse sharply right after a crossover, and that can lead you to lose your trades. We also have here lagging indicators, so we sometimes have moving averages because they are inherently lagging. They'll react to past price movements, right? So if you have that confirmation, you can be sure, hey, that's what the market's thinking right here, right now, and that can help look at potential future direction. But let's also talk about your confirmation toolkit. Let's look at the toolbox, figure out what we've got in there to help us with this confirmation. Momentum indicators are going to be key. They can help assess the speed and direction of price movements. So RSI, relative strength index, for an example, stochastic oscillator. Another example, if you're looking at the RSI, you might want values moving above 30 indicating oversold conditions before a bearish crossover, or below 70 indicating overbought conditions before a bearish crossover. Stochastic oscillator works kind of similarly here. That can confirm a potential trend shift if it aligns in the crossover direction. Volume analysis is also worth noting. If you have a healthy trend, you want some healthy volume to back it up. You might want increasing trading volume as you get that move to the upside or downside on breakouts after the crossovers, and a low volume crossover might be a little bit less reliable. Low volume, low reliability. That's how you can think of it. Price action is super worth talking about here as well. You want to look for crossovers that have potentially breakout levels around support and resistance. Look for crossovers happening around resistance in a bullish situation, or breakdowns below support in a bearish situation for extra confirmation. Here's an example too of having this crossover with MACD confirming that. So nice look there on the chart. How do you build your confirmation arsenal? I wonder who added that one to the lesson there. You should have just referring the lessons, but I did have to mention that.
Yeah.
So basically, things that you can add here to your confirmation arsenal, because it's never going to be one size fits all approach, include adding a momentum indicator. So combine a crossover signal with an RSI or a stochastic reading that aligns with the expected trend direction. You also might want crossover and price action and volume. Oh, I increased my volume there. That was not on purpose. That was actually not on purpose. Look for a crossover happening around a breakout or breakdown with a surge in volume to strengthen the signal and to strengthen your confidence, confluence, confirmation, whatever word you want to use, that this could be happening. Here's an example of the 9-period VWAP and 50-period VWAP and 50-period SMA having a bit of a crossover, and you have that with increased volume to show you, hey, the volume's up, people are up on this move, and the move is up. Someone's also in Faraday, so I cannot wait to hear about that. But sounds like he's having a heck of a day to the upside on Faraday because he just did a fist bump. But first, let's end this lesson. Again, confirmation is not a guarantee, but it can significantly increase your chances of catching valid trends and avoiding false positives. And also having a bit more confidence and more confidence when you enter the trade. So you have more confidence. What's wrong with that?
Nothing.
Nothing. And that's what got me, you know, that's I think how you get out of trades too early. I mean, a video earlier, because you don't have that confidence or that confidence, right? Sharif had the confidence. He added to the trade. And that's, I think, why confidence is so important. If you have indicators backing you up, that's even sweeter. But here's another, you know, look at the multi-indicator approach. You just don't want to get overwhelmed. So you want to start by mastering a few key indicators and how they work with crossovers and how they work for you. Then as you get that, you'll gradually build your technical analysis arsenal.
Boom.
For a more comprehensive confirmation. Someone is in that EV to the upside. How's it going?
Good, decent. Yeah, I've got in on the 10-period, on the 5, baby, and it's literally bottom wick. So now we wet our beak here a little bit, and I want to get out all at 74s. Let's go. I'm getting 73s and a half. Give me a little bit higher.
Oh my God.
Sorry, Dara.
I was sorry. I'm so sorry, guys.
And there we go. I got 74. So there, the good print there. I mean, we're talking pennies here, but the whole point is to get a proper trade in. Let me show you exactly why I got in this. Shout out to you, Tisha. I know you like your small cap gappers. So shout out to Tisha Perkins, baby. This was the level right here. So the 10-period was around 68. So I put my dip right at 68. And I said, come what may. And I put the stop at 66. So I risked 2 pennies there. To make 6. So I'm happy with the risk reward on that. It doesn't always work out so nice and clean, but alas, today it did. So please, this dang punch off this trade. It's probably going to go into 80 and a little bit higher, but you know, I'm a bad trader, so I'll just take it as it comes. Good look here for Faraday futures here, really inching closer to that dollar level. So maybe no more issues with the NASDAQ, baby. Up through 75, and yeah, keep your eye out on 81. Technically 80, 90. So not $80.90, but 0.890 Yes, we work with 4 decimal places, sub $1 with these here stocks. That's the way it works. Is the HOD. One hell of a hammer candle coming in now on the 5-minute. That's a beauty. Very bullish. One candle look here. Obviously, we don't want to put too much stock into one measly 5-minute candle, but the fact of the matter is, it looks awfully good here on its way into that 77.5 pennies. Faraday futures continue to pimp here and take this, well, at least give us small cap gappers to trade. So good luck. Let's go. Great call. Seriously, shout out to Trisha. I know you like your, she loves a small cap gapper. She's always like letting me know in the morning when I'm at the big desk. Yeah, when things are moving. So shout out to Tisha. She likes the small capper. So do I. So we'll keep eyes on that. Whoa, NVIDIA. Something is going on here with the monster NVIDIA. What a drop right there. I mean, you know, it's not a huge drop. It's a $900 name, but we tank off that 945 3/4 all the way down into 940 2/3. We break the 10. We break the 20, and now we're kind of in no man's land. The 50 is at 938 1/4, a fifth, something like there. So we have the whole dollar obviously at 940, but it's not a level that I was prepared for or charted. So no trades for me here on the monster NVIDIA. Great day for NVIDIA though. Coming, I want to say close to that $1,000 again, right? It's 3.13% in the green on the day. So good look here for NVIDIA. What else we got going on? What else we got going on? Rhonda. What's going on with Amazon stocks going down? The thing is, Rhonda, I mean, Amazon printed all-time highs not too long ago. So people have been asking about that. And, you know, there really hasn't been bad news on Amazon. There's been really no bad news. We're just assuming that there's probably profit taking up here. Let me show you what I mean. Flip to the daily to show you how we made all times. Yeah, so these all-time highs here into 191 2/3, and basically been selling off a little bit since that time. You know, that 180 level is interesting on Amazon. Probably doesn't come in today, obviously, but maybe sometime this week. Reason being, it's the 50 and it's the 180 level where we had a definite area of resistance for a while on Amazon. So, you know, no catalyst for it today, but it's down 1 2/3. We'll see, you know, if it can recover a little bit. To go green, it's got to get above 187. All right, let's talk about the dead one. The dead one has been, you know, one of the better movers on the day. 1 2/3 up on the day. 190.65 high, so 190 2/3 is a high a day. It has been holding the 10 and the 20 all day, and here it is, right at the 10 right now. 190. I was about to say 39, 38, whatever, 40 is where the 10 period is. 190 1/4 is the 20 period on the 5. I'll be looking for a possible retracement on one of these because Apple has been awfully strong on the day. It's been trending, and if it's trending, I want to look initially to the 10. If not the 10, then the 20 a dare.
Yeah, I've been looking at some stuff. I don't have a read on anything. IWM, I initially like that long off of 209.19. Was going to put a dip buy in it. Thank goodness I didn't. We fell to the downside. I still like this 209.11 area. That was an area I had on my side chart. I was watching. We were kind of chopping and turning when we had that move to the downside. If we come back to that, reject, I'll take this short. Right now, I don't want to force myself into anything. Tesla is not in my good book, so I'm joking. Tesla's like my best name of the day. I'm actually really happy and proud of what I did with this stock, but I'm just annoyed at it for not letting me in here. I wanted a bounce at 175.28. That was an area that we had a little bit of resistance earlier. I liked it. I try to get involved 22s. Tesla gets to 20, Tesla gets to 22s and bounces. I'm like, okay, Tesla, want to bounce again? Tesla's like, no, I'm okay. I'm just going to go to 25s. I'm like, okay, Tesla, that's cool. That's fine. Don't have to be all upset about it. Little bit bummed, but you know what? Just going to keep taking opportunities that make sense to you. With that in mind, the white whale, NVIDIA, I still have my eyes on. If we keep rejecting 943, I like that. 943 was a bit of support earlier. My favorite level on this is still going to be 944. Actually, no, sorry. My favorite level on this was I took this long at 943 earlier. So I still like 943. 943, 25, 943, 50. If we reject, I like that. I also like it because look at all that support we had earlier. Look at that nice little trough for us to reject off of. I think that could be a nice look. I don't know, but I want to make sure it hits first. watching IW, I'm watching NVIDIA. Also, shout out to Kyle Burdett, still holding a piece for the dream on his AMZ head short to the low of day. Should have gotten involved in this. Definitely missed the timing on this, but shout out to anybody who killed this. You can't have FOMO. You can just have JOMO, and you can be happy for everybody else. And that's what I try to do here.
I like that. Good attitude.
Just got to be positive.
Man,
You're positive.
Faraday is on the way up, Adara. Here comes 80 pennies on Faraday. Good move up, 175%. Ram says, what's Tesla at? Do I win my Apple to 200 first bet? Look, Ram, if that Apple hits 200, you can get all the Starbucks you want very soon. Hopefully, it hits before Tesla. The Knob told us live yesterday that he thinks Tesla is going to be the first hit that 200. Adara says as well. All right, I like that. Everybody has their opinion, and that's what makes everything interesting around here. It would be boring if everyone thought the same thing. So I'm going to go ahead and say Apple. Right? But like, can we set some parameters? Like, does 199.98 count? Or 99? No?
200.01. 200.01.
No, I think 200 should count. I think 200, not 201, because then we're talking about the break.
No, but I mean $200.01.
Yeah, I mean $200
okay, so you're just
and
saying
00
flat.
pennies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll
that
see.
Makes sense. That makes sense.
So so we're setting up parameters now. 199, 98 doesn't count, 99 don't count, even though I think they should, but whatever, all good there. We'll see exactly what we get. Yeah, Tesla definitely more parabolic than Apple I've ever seen Apple parabolic. I've never seen it. I know that Algos traded it. I know it was the original Tesla back in the day. I wasn't around those days, so I've never seen it like that. Elon, hi Sharif. What a thrill watching you trade small caps. It's like watching Toretto and Fast and Furious. I really don't think so at all, but thank you for saying something like that. I disagree completely, but that is very kind of you to say. Brad Gober, Google on the way up. Yes, nice move here for goggles. Google's been weak. Google has been weak. We've been talking about this, right? Well, hold on. Yeah, it's not that weak. I mean, it's above yesterday's highs, so yeah, staying corrected. It's up 2/3. Maybe because the chart pattern today looked off the poop. 170.50 held. That's a great area, and that's a 200 period here on the 5. But anyway, coming into the volume weighted average price. Good eye there, Brad, because we could encounter an area of resistance here. Look at this area that we got into in the not in the pre, but earlier on. 170.150 acted as that level of support. You could make the argument it was a $0.50 or the volume weighted average price. Looks like it could have been a combination of both. Now we're coming right back into that area, 171.40. Let's see what it does at 50s here. It's a skosh above VWAP right now. VWAP's at that third of a buck, 171 1/3. So we'll see. I mean, if we reject off here, that's a great rejection off goggles, and I'll definitely be interested in taking this bad boy south. To where we'll have to see, maybe that 171 area would be a good look, or that 171.50 if we're going to play a range. So Google, good look there. Big Kyle Burdett, ES is at a prior wick highs on weekly chart, positioning for a short here above 53.20 and below 53.25, looking 53.10 area for covers. Let's have a look at what Big Kyle is talking about. Let's go to the ES over here. So this ES removes all the pre-market price action, which I don't want to do. So I'm gonna add it back in, show outside of regular trading hours, and then he's talking about the weekly. Prior wick highs on the weekly. Great. Let's go to the weekly over here, see what Big Kyle is yapping about. Yes, okay. The Captain Protein is saying that GME is getting a little spicy over here, so we're going to have to take a second off that, Kyle, to have a look at GameStop. Yeah, nice curl back up there, Ty, off that 34, breaking through 34.5, and it broke through 35, Adara. There is a double top that we need to be concerned with around that $36 area. That takes us back to 11.55 and 12. So keep your eye out on that if you're interested in the memes. I'm definitely looking for something here to, here. AMC, Katina Man, AMC just moved up into the 50. So this is the Katina Man got me shorts here on AMC. So this is the area. So I gotta send it to you, Adara.
Yeah,
so I
okay.
have to get, yeah.
I hope we AMC you in AMC. Best of luck there. Tesla. Oh, I yelled again, sorry. Tesla finally giving me the level I want. A little bit worried. Initially, we held beautiful support around that 175.20. Now we're resisting a little bit. I'm considering adding here at 75.09s. That would, sorry, 175.09s. That would be a planned DCA, if we break below 175 with that viciousness, bye. I already have a beak water set, half the position, 175.33s. That was an area we popped into earlier. Tesla, I'd like you to not give up the ghost, but if you want to, I guess that's your prerogative, that's fine, but I'd rather you not. We're gonna have to see what TSLA does here though. I think, like I said, I have no problem adding if we keep seeing this range. You know what? I still like this, so I'm gonna add. We're gonna add a scintilla of shares here, 175.09s if we get there. If not, that's fine. Yeah, really excited to kind of play this off of Tesla. Should have been playing it earlier. Maybe a little bit annoyed I wasn't able to get into this particular play earlier, so trying to be very cognizant, making sure we don't have any revenge moves, just trading stuff I like. That's why I'm happy I'm not in NVIDIA yet. I said I wanted to see potentially go short if we rejected, and NVIDIA was like, yeah, I'm not gonna do that, but that's really cute that you thought of that. I'm like, okay, NVIDIA, keep going. NVIDIA, though, still not able to really have that nice 946 break that we really wanted. NVIDIA is a little bit maybe of an NVDL, which just didn't even work because I'm not in NVDL, but NVIDIA not giving you that 946 break. We're still having lower highs, not when I want to short, unless it's like that big kind of move down. I don't know if we're going to get that. Futures right now, not suggesting that, but I mean, Tesla, if you want to listen to the futures and have a nicer move up, I'd be okay with that as well. So interesting to see how these mag staffins are interacting in different ways with the futures. Amazon, someone was saying in the chat, Amazon RSI saying buy. Oh, Amazon. That rejection? Oh my gosh, look at that rejection in Amazon. I'm getting involved in Amazon. And you know what? I don't, and someone said, yes, I think it was Mr. Longshorts in the chat, said something great. It's like, make sure you're understanding the difference between FOMO and conviction. And I think that's really key. That's really key, because sometimes I've had conviction and it's just like, what? Convicted of what? Like, I dare why. But in this case with Amazon, if I want to wait a little bit longer, I don't want to like punch and pray here, but if we keep staying below that 184, to me there's a lot to suggest we could be okay here. We're below the 9 EMA, one of my most trusted indicators if it shows up. We're also rejecting off that previous area that we had some chop insurance, so I think there is a potential here at AMZN. The thing I don't like is that big wick to the bottom here, and I would also don't have a stop yet, so I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna deal with my stress level before I deal with anything else here. And Tesla is not giving me that 175.33. We got, I still think 175.27s, and Tesla was like, oh, maybe not. I'd rather not. Like, okay, Tesla, do your thing, 21. I still think there's something here, but I don't know if it's going to be giving you that range that it initially gave you. I think we're curling down here a little bit. I'm going to stay in this long, but I'm going to have to scalp out of it a little bit more than initially intended. No pieces for any dreams here. We don't have dreams in Tesla.
The Katina Man's printing on GME short.
Nice.
Yeah. And I didn't get to print on AMC because I'm frugal, and I put my entry at the 50 period. It didn't come into the 50. It missed it by 2 pennies. It went to 44s. I had it at 46, and I didn't get filled. And I don't want to chase it down. Like, that's frustrating. But anyway, I mean, this is the level that I wanted all day long. The 50 on AMC. It comes in 2 pennies. I don't take it. I'm an idiot. I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, we'll see exactly what we get here on AMC. If it comes back down to 5, I could definitely be persuaded to get long again. It held up twice at 5 to the long side. This is what I'm talking about over here. You got that 505 dip right at 1220. It popped up. You got another 505 dip at 110. It popped up over here. It did break 5 though. Originally went to 490, reclaimed 5 super quick. So there does seem to be some support here at $5 for AMC, at least intraday here. But I would definitely prefer the short on AMC than I would prefer the long. So we'll see if this comes back in to the 50 period. Where's the 50 period hanging out now? It's still at 46s. Nothing's changed on AMC. Fair Day just printed another high a day, 80, almost 84 pennies. 0.8394 now, essentially 84 pennies up and to the right. The best dip trade, I guess, was that you could have gotten was off this 10 super quick, and there it goes, 84 pennies now. Technically HOD. I feel this one might be on its way to $1. 194.5%. We'll probably see something around 200 by the time this day is done. Everybody knows about the $1 level. I mean, it's not a secret. There's a trade to be had at the $1 level. whether you take it on a break or a rejection, you're going to have to do the analysis. You're going to have to figure out which one you're going to want to take. But that $1 trade is the reason that I had my scanner set to $1 and I changed it after Neil gave me the idea to put it to 85 pennies so I can see those $1 small cap gapper trades come, before they show up at $1, and then you don't have advance notice of them. 85 pennies now, HOD on Faraday as it's inching it closer to 200% on the day. Great look for Faraday. And anybody trading this, again, guys, if you're just joining us, this float is heavily shorted. Depending on where you're looking, it's either 86 2/3%, or some other people in the chat were saying upwards of 90% of the float. 200% now for Faraday as it takes 86 pennies. 205% now, 87 pennies now, the high a day on Faraday. This thing is in a full state of pamp. I got it off 68 pennies, and now it's at 87. So 20 pennies on an 80 penny name. You do the math. That's big. That's big moves up there for Faraday. Good luck for whoever had that. Okay, now I'm now short AMC, so let's see what comes from here or there.
Shout out to you. Also, shout out to Ponzi. Fonzie saying 175.50 is la resistance, he thinks, on Tesla. I don't disagree with you. I ended up getting out. I ended up scalping out. Still happy with what we did. We got the 33s I wanted on half of the position, and the rest of it, I got out 27s. We fell a little bit. I said, Adara, you got to get out. Now Tesla's like, maybe you should have gotten out, but that's okay. And you know what? I do want to say I totally agree with what Ponzi Fonzie is saying there. Look at this kind of build into this 175.50. I think if we break above it, we explode, but that's not the type of trade I want to take. And so I feel like what's gotten me down today on that NVIDIA earlier and some of these other trades is like not trading my style. Like, Adara, you are not a high of day break type of trader. That's fine. This is very valid. You got to learn, grow, and continue to figure things out here. Vic Jan Novak saying, look at SMCI, smiley face. SMCI trying to make a, speaking of flat top break, SMCI is like, how can you talk about Teslas, but like not mine? Like, okay. Sorry about that. SMCI trying to break that 920 area. Look at that 9 EMA bounce around 911. I think that's a great look. We also had a little bit of resistance early at 907 that we cleared up above. So I think that's been nice. Nothing super or nothing micro about this move in super micro. I was going to say, I can't say nothing is super because that is a super move. Also, my big range I'm looking at right now, IWM. I don't have a way to play this yet, which is why I haven't gotten involved yet, but someone's happy. I want to talk about this because look at this 189, 209, 208.90s, right? Bounce. We had the rejection, tried to play it, failed, whatever, and then we come back here, we bounce, reject, we bounce. There's something here. I want to play this IWM. I think as long as you use the 208.90s as your barrier, there's stuff to play, so I'm going to get involved. You are pleased as punch.
Yeah, I am. I took it. I took this scalp out before it rocketed up. Now I'm out of the money by 1 penny. So big moves here for AMC. I got to be alert and aware, baby. I already have my stop on the other side of 50. Did wick quickly there through 50, right back down. I wet my beak at 39s already, so I've been able to de-risk there right back down below my entry. We're going to have to see how this fight plays out because both AMC and GME now at the 50 period. They haven't been above the 50 period all day. Well, I don't know if that's true. Maybe they were in the pre-market, but not since the bell rang anyway. So we'll see if, bless you, Ram. We'll see now if it's their time to shine or their time to tank. So we're going to watch. I'm going to be here either way. I'm happy I'm trading one of these memes finally. Shout out to the Katina man for hooking me up with those shorts. I got them in spades, baby. We'll see if we can get some more downside here on AMC as I'm seeing a topping tail candle come in on the 5. It hasn't closed yet, but it looks decent. So we'll see if we can get that move down here on AMC, taking this monster short. You got the same 50-period retracement that you got on AMC on GME. Look at these. This is AMC up here, and this is GME right here. AMC breaks through the 50, GME doesn't. So fantastic looks. They look like they're trading in tandem. You know, don't rely on that too much, but I just making the observation that they're both retracing into the 50. They both had double tops at very similar areas. So we'll see what we get here. Faraday on the way up. Quadruple 8s now, high a day for Faraday. Oh, that's a good omen. I know my Asians will like that. 8-8, very good number in the Asian culture. Quadruple 8s now on Faraday at high day. I'm assuming we're going to, again, see that dollar trade come in sometime today. Looks like 90 pennies just a moment away here. And there it is, 90 pennies now. The high a day on Faraday. This thing just keeps rocketing up. Fantastic look for Faraday today, Dara.
Shout out to you on the Faraday and the AMC, the AMC. Oh, I can't do that sound. That's the sound of the police. Yeah.
The sound of the police.
Great song there. IWM, I still think, initially I liked short, but then I decided I like the long because we're holding at this 208.90 like a glove. I am not going to get my fill. I don't think initially I wanted 208.95s, then I switched to 208.97s. I didn't feel like that was too chasey because I was like, that's 2 pennies. And I'd rather, I think I do want to get involved. I'm going to take this with a bit more shares, not a massive amount, mind you, but enough that I have room to kind of wiggle and worm around here. If we break decisively out of that 90s range, I'm getting out, but the plan is to scalp in and out of this and add. My first target's going to be 209.05s. With part of that position, then I'm going to kind of try to continue to add here. This is a bit more of an ambitious trade. We have about 20 minutes left. I think I can execute this how I want to execute it. And again, just to clarify, what I'm trying to do is tear IWM apart limb by limb from the 208 to the upside and the downside. But right now to the upside from that 208.90 to that 209-ish area. I got involved a little bit higher than I would have liked to, but I did see a flat top and higher lows on the 5-minute, which is why I decided to get involved a little bit beyond where I wanted to. That's what I'm trying to play here. I think right now it will probably be a long for the time being, but that's what I'm trying to do. Tesla, trying to break above that idea that, not that idea, that level that Ponzi Fonzie very astutely identified around that 175.50. That's a great look here. Continuing to chop and turn to the upside. Scalped out a bit early, but you have to do what you have to do sometimes. You have to trade how you're comfortable trading. That's the biggest thing I learned today. Speaking of things that you're comfortable trading, NVIDIA, if you want to keep rejecting that 945.50, I'm going to take this with like a scintilla of shares, to be fair, but I want to see what we do here. IWM testing my patience and testing my 208.90, which is my level. So I'm going to keep an eye on this, but I'm not going to regret taking that. Right? Like, I think my biggest thing when I'm trying to approach trades now that I've started doing, and I think it's been mostly effective today, is would I regret not taking this? And if I would regret not taking it, then I want to take it. That's
I love it. Neil's putting some stuff in the chat there that's jogging my memory limb by limb. Oh, my God. Wow, that's some high school jams there, baby. Shout out to Neil for jogging said memories. Gorev, Disney broke VWAP, trimmed half my position and holding the rest for the ride. We'll keep raising stop as it goes. Shout out to you, Gorev. Hope you print, buddy. Keep me updated on the trade. I'm sure there's others following you in the chat as well, and they're probably going to want to know about your trade. So make sure to tag me so I can update everyone on your trade. I want to talk about this 40 penny level here, Ram, on AMC because it's holding. There seems to be a buyer at 40 pennies. We've been holding for the last few minutes, and there it goes down, baby. Fill me, and there it is. Yes, on AMC. So it does reject. Literally got top wick on that. Not a big profit taker, but a good execution of the trade. I'm pleased as dang punch, but there definitely was resistance, or sorry, excuse me, support at that 540 area for about 5 minutes or so. You couldn't eat up those buyers, but that 50 period rejection on AMC, a rinse and repeat trade, guys. I didn't have it earlier, but I definitely saw the rejection on the 50, and here's what I was looking at in case you're wondering. One-time reject, okay, that's the IB high too, so that gives it some good credence. One-time reject that right there, 930, and then you get a double top reject at 1155 and 12 right off the 50, and then alas, we make it right back into the 50 again. That's what precipitated me to get into the trade. It is not rock. And did I tell you my friend used to say rock in science?
Yes, you did.
I did tell you.
I remember.
Anytime I say that, I always remember that. But look at this. GME is going here, guys. So GME broke above the 50 here. 36 and a half, I think it topped out, but keep your eye on this level, 36.15, 36.20, we had a double top there, 11.55, 12 o'clock, the same area that we had that 50 period rejection on AMC, we got a double top here on GME. The VWAP, the volume weighted average price on GME, $37. We're close, 36 and a half, 37 looks like it's incoming. It's taking the 50 here. If it closes above that, that's going to be a tough look. So we'll keep eyes on GME and AMC. Shout out to Captain Protein for calling that out. He alerted me to that. But let me alert you to this. Faraday, another high a day. This time about 93 pennies, 0.9298. Essentially, there it is, 94 pennies now. This thing is on the way to $1. It's just going to be how this is traded at $1. Do we get perfunctory breaks north and south and a little bit of zigzagging, or do we get directional movement one way or another? A claiming of the level or rejection of the level, I suspect it won't be that clean. I don't think we're going to have to wait that long to find out. 5 pennies more, baby, and this thing hits $1, 233% on the day, and I already had a monster day yesterday. Faraday futures, what $100,000 cars? They're going to 100, baby. I'm kidding. No, that's not financial advice. Don't take that seriously. Money on my mind. Amazon pump may be starting, bro. Let's have a look. Let's see what money on my mind be talking about over here. Yeah, you're not wrong, my man. Okay, so now we're getting some clear breaks of these technical areas. So the whole dollar just went there at 185. We reclaimed the 50 period, even though we didn't really respect the 50 period on the 5, so I'm less inclined to use that. What we did respect, though, was the 200 period on the 5. Why? I don't care. But all I know is that the 200 period right now on the 5 is at 185.84. We're clearing that 185 level. If we can break above 186 here and clear this possible double top area, that'll be awfully bullish. I got to tell you the truth. This looks double bottomish at 183, hence possible strength here. Breaking of the neckline confirms that at 186.25. We'll have to wait and see. HOD on this monster, though, was that essentially the open price at 186.72. That's the best Amazon's done on the day. To go green, though, it's got to break above that 187 area. That puts it back into Greensville. Yesterday's close is 187, the ominous number, 187. Did you see Meta?
Oh my gosh, Meta.
Unreal,
I can't believe I tried shorting this at one point today. Meta.
I mean, it just, you know, it didn't give me long vibes today, but clearly these holds at the 50 were absolute money. Hold here, another hold here, and you got one single candle off that 50, and then $4 in the money on that. So great move up here for Meta, going green on the day, 1 1/3.
Yeah, nice look there on Meta. Also nice look on NVIDIA to the downside. Sorry for sounding like very out of breath there. This has been a trade. But again, the thing is, like, I want to stress, you want to take trades you're confident in, even if those trades scare the behoozes out of you a little bit here. And I took that 945 short after watching quite a few times. We had these failures of breaking up above 946. We had a couple dojis, which could go either way. But for me, with confluence with the futures going down a little bit, I said, Adara, I think the NVIDIA short could come to fruition if you take it up 945. I was risking about 9. I want to see what we did around 945. 50, we got there, and then we petered back out to the downside. So I said, you know what, Adara, I think you can try this. I think I would like us to be getting a little bit lower. My entry is going to be, or my exit is going to be just below 944s. Right now we're about flat on the position. Mostly though, just happy. And maybe this sounds, you know, a little bit cheesy, but sometimes you just have to be happy to take your participation trophy and be happy you wanted to get involved in the first place. I like this level. I still like this entry. I wish it had gone. It was going a little bit better. That'd be great. But I have no problem scalping out if we don't get those levels I want. Right now though, shout out to Willis Addison. Thank you so much for, I'm just going to be keeping my eye on NVIDIA in case I have to leave. But thank you so much to Willis Addison for that $2 super chat. Thank you so much, Willis Addison. I'm at 32 cents yesterday from FFIE. That's a great look. Congrats to you. Killing it there. I was going to say hope you print, as Sharif would say, but you are printing there. This could be interesting. I know Sharif was buying it off that, I think, around that 70, 68 level. So let's see if FFIE comes back in and bounces off that 8 cents. I think that would be a great look here. NVIDIA coming to the downside a little bit and then coming right back up. So this is certainly a name that does chop and turn around a little bit. I'm going to move my exit here to 45s because I just think that's a little bit more realistic right now. Because I don't know if we're going to be getting the 44s that I wanted. So we're going to go out 44 50s. That's a level I can vibe with a little bit more. Still happy I took the trade. Sometimes, like I said, you do have to have the confidence to get involved. But shout out to Willis Addison, who had the confidence to take a swing on FFIE from 32 cents. You are certainly in the money, sir. Congrats on that trade. You are printing, and that's a great look. Someday, you know, even if the Faraday future doesn't look bright, if you like a trade, and as long as you have risk management in mind, you should have the confidence to take that. So shout out to you, props to NVIDIA for dropping a little bit here. Please just punch.
Adara, I think the winds of change may be coming on these memes. Because now we're starting to pump here. Now GME is really moving, guys. AMC's coming into VWAP, so it's cleared all the 50s. It's broken through that double top at $5.66. Is AMC going to halt? AMC might halt here. Nope. It's not going to halt here. Why is this just standing still like that? Okay, so no, I was wrong. So keep your eye out. What is this level? 571. That's a volume-weighted average price for AMC, but GME is clearing it. GME's already cleared the volume-weighted average price on the way to 39, it looks like. Keep in mind that we did have price action support at 40 bucks in the pre. So does that feature again? I mean, do we use it as a level of resistance, earlier support? I mean, we had several 5-minute candles that wicked off that $40 area. I don't know. I think that $41 area may be a little bit better. I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell. The reason I'm looking at that $41 area is because we troughed out there in the aftermarket yesterday on big volume, not the aftermarket, around 3 o'clock on big volume. And then we had issues with that 41.40 general area here. It is coming back down now, though. Let's call it real. We did put in about a bit of a topping tail candle here at 38 1/3. So we'll keep eyes on that. These memes could get going, and I really don't mind them to get going because I know the viewers absolutely love these. So GME, AMC getting off the bottom here a little bit, and we'll see what happens. Faraday got into about 96 pennies, 9.9688, okay? Essentially 97 pennies, and now we're coming back down into 90. We're still above all the moving averages. So we're above the 10, the 20, everything. So keep your eye out on that. We haven't really changed the trend. The trend is still there. Nice retracement down, though. All right, Justin Richards. Are we going to melt up today? I wouldn't mind. Thank you very much, by the way, for that $1.99 super chat, Justin Richards. Haven't seen your name in the chat before. Thank you for joining us. What's going on there? Let's have a look back at, oh, yeah. Okay. So Katina meant alerting me to what GameStop is doing. There it goes, 38.5 incoming here on GameStop. Watch out for 40 bucks, guys. 41.40. I'm looking at that level. That's going to be super interesting here if it makes its way up there, Adair.
Yeah, I'm really happy with the NVIDIA scalp. I think really I'm trying to get, when I say scalpulation, it's just watching your instincts, having levels in mind, but being willing to compromise. Happy that's what I did with NVIDIA. Tesla, you might be thinking, Adara, you're short in Tesla, pourquoi? It's basically just based on these levels I've been loving all day. I liked that we kind of struggled once we broke that level. Again, shout out to Ponzi Fonzie for talking about this in the chat earlier. That 175.50 resistance broke above that a little bit and then struggled. Right now, we kind of keep bouncing a bit at 175.24, which I don't love. If we break up of 175.40 with the viciousness, that's when I'm leaving. But I took a few more shares with this because I do have confidence in this and I want to piece it out along the way. We're going to start getting out 175.10s. Then I'm going to see what we do at 175s. If we can't break below 175 with the viciousness, I'll take everything out at 175. But right now, again, I think the biggest thing I'm learning, and again, I want to shout out Mr. Longshorts in the chat yesterday, pointing out the difference between conviction and FOMO. That's something I'm really trying to decipher for myself as well. My big thing today that's been helping me, I would say pretty tremendously is a strong word, but it's been helping me a little bit with my mental, which is a part of trading I absolutely struggle with, in addition to all the other parts. No, I'm joking, but you learn it. You learn every day, right? I was making a little bit of a joke there, just to skosh. But yeah, I think the big thing is you want to, like, what I'm trying to do now before I say my trades is, Adara, would you regret not taking this trade? And if I would regret not taking it, that's when it's like you have to get it. You know what I mean? Because I think sometimes why you get FOMO is because you're kicking yourself because you didn't get involved earlier or you didn't get the level you wanted. That's what happened with me on this GME trade earlier. And I'm very happy. I started the day down because it's my first trade of the day. And I was a little bit upset at myself. This level would have worked had I gotten in initially, but because I didn't get in initially, I floundered and I missed the opportunity I wanted. So then I bought in a little bit too aggressively. Trying to not do that going forward. Happy I've learned, and always so excited to take on the next day in the market. Currently up on the day, though. We know stress could always change that because I'm still in it. Really, honestly, just perseverance is huge, and I'm just proud I'm still here.
Yeah, absolutely. And I got to tell you, in front of everybody, you know, you're doing a killer job.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
HOD on the NQ. 18,672 and a quarter. High a day right now. I mean, I don't typically use moving averages on the future, almost never. But look at this. I mean, wow. That's beautiful. And when it did break it, look where it held up at the 20 period. So great look today on the NQ if you're a trend trader anyway, because it's kind of giving you, I don't know, how many entries here on 10 period retracements or 20 period retracements. Great look there. I'm keeping my eye on GameStop and AMC because, yeah, they were moving. We all saw what GameStop just did there, breaking through 38.5. It's, I don't want to say it's slowed down, but you know, it's not breaking through to that 40 level. I wanted to see kind of how we did with 40 and 41, given that we'd had so much price action there the last couple of days. So not quite yet for GameStop. OCGN is continuing to do well. It's become more of, I don't know, a range trade above the volume weighted average price. This is not how I typically trade these small cap gappers, but OCGN is not really your prototypical small cap gapper. It's a very large float, 200 some odd million shares. So, you know, as I mentioned earlier, it was going to really take more buying power, more share size, more volume to really move OCGN than it would, say, a Faraday or something like that. So, yeah, I'll keep my eye on OCGN, even though there's really no trade to be had on it. It's really Faraday here and the memes, AMC, GME. Let's look at some of these other memes. What are they doing? So we've been talking about memes and GME and AMC. Let's see what Donald John Trump is doing. What's he up to at the moment over
Reddit
here?
Too. I didn't even think
Yeah, I haven't even looked at Reddit. DJT's not doing much. How about costs? Costs, yeah, no, not really. It's really Faraday here and these other two. VFS having a decent day, but not really trading all that much volume, up on the day 2 and 2/3. Yeah, I don't really have a trade on the memes at the moment. Even though AMC is still rejecting VWAP, it hasn't been able to take it. Look at this. A nice, I don't want to say double top, but this was the area that we talked about earlier. $5.65 was the area we held up at 11.55 and 12, and right back into that level we come and we hold up. We don't even make it into 570, but I think we might be accumulating here higher lows, maybe for that VWAP take. A little bit harder for AMC, I guess, to take VWAP because GME did. Oh, right back down goes GME now, below the volume weighted average price, trying to hold 37. Some topping tail candles there through 38 and 38.5. Let's see what the rest of the afternoon brings. There are 5 minutes left on the show.
Yeah, this has been a day and a half. Tesla had that bounce at 175, so I got everything out. Initially had a fifth of the position left, and I said, Derek, you're here for a good time, not a long time. Scalp away. So happy with this. The ethos behind this trade was to take a bit more shares. Again, very still within my comfort zone because I take very small position sizes. But I remember one thing Sean said to me yesterday at the market recap was that position sizing is really key, and make sure you kind of have that in mind, right? So you can check out today. We're going to be in the market recap once again, so definitely give us a look if you want to talk about earnings, stocks, what have you. We have Cisco tonight. But yeah, that was really, I'm happy with what I did with this Tesla, just taking those scalps. Up on the day, up on live. And honestly, like, again, this is not going to, today's teeny profits are not going to undo, you know, getting shut down on Monday or being down in the day yesterday, but they are something, and you have to use these little building blocks to work towards your trading house. I don't know, that analogy worked better in my head, as a lot of them often do. But also, I want to shout out to Sharif as well for that Faraday future trade and that AMC trade. Sharif's like, meme stocks are hard to trade. Said who? No, I'm joking. But seriously, shout out to you for taking those meme stocks here on the midday.
I wanted to take the memes because I know everybody loves them, and I don't trade them that well. Guys, I want to mention crypto. Crypto's up big. We just broke through 65,000. Bitcoin now is up 5 2/3. Ethereum, yeah, still about $13 lower than that 3,000. It's up 3 1/3. But look at the mining names. There's Mara, up 8.8, was just above 9. Coinbase, 5.86. Riot, 4 1/3. CleanSpark, 8.85. Hut 8, 11.5%. So crypto having itself a great day today. Keep your eye out on those names. I see you, Havana Witty. Sorry we weren't able to cover a lot of the crypto names today. I know there's just so much running. We had the memes, we had big tech, the futures going, everything is going here. So hard to cover it all. But yeah, I do see crypto. Shout out to Havana Woody for letting me know about that. I do appreciate the chat always letting me, keeping us apprised. Oh, Frankie Core, blah, 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 blah. Or I'm going to block you, Frankie, so be careful. GME looking nervous, says Bob EV. Any final trades there for you as we wind down?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still... This I've had my eye on IWM 208.90. I've been waxing poetic about this level, not all day, but for at least 2 hours. And we're coming into it again, and I don't know if I want to take a little end of the midday trade, because look at us trying to break above it and rejecting. Small size, we're going to do it, because I think, like I said as well, sometimes you want to think about the trades as well that you'd regret not taking.
Right.
This could be one of those for me. I'm going to watch this a little bit more, but we're going to have our finger on the trigger, and by that I mean the sell button trigger, to be clear.
Oh.
Yeah, we're gonna do it. I want to see what we do into 70s. I don't know if we'll get there. Like I said, just taking a really small position and practicing taking trades that I feel comfortable in. As Ariana Grande says in 7 Rings, I see it, I like it, I want it, I got it. So trying to live by that mantra. Thank you so much to Bears versus Bulls for always killing it. Thanks to Kyle Burdett, big Kyle Burdett, Ponzi Fonzie in the chat for the support. Thanks to everybody. I'm always really happy to be here. I can't believe it's 1:59.
I know, it's crazy. I'm getting this this news about this VAR stuff. It looks like Wolverhampton Wanderers are the ones that launched a complaint with the FA, and they were trying to scrap the VAR there out in England. I don't know. I don't think it happens, but if they speed it up, I think it'll be a lot better. But anyway, I'm going to leave you with this trade. Meta is absolutely flying. It's about to hit $480. It's at 479.37. This thing has just been rocket shipping for whatever reason. I looked at my blotter. I don't see anything really here Meta related. Unsure what this is doing. Up 1.56. It's not the percentage up on the day. It's a beautiful recovery, and this looks really here like algo buying or a program buy here, because it was uninterrupted. Didn't break the 10 period once since exactly 12 o'clock. So almost 2 hours now of clear skies above the 10 period a day. It's now 2 o'clock.
I can't believe it's 2 o'clock. I hope you guys had as much fun as we did. Day 3 of memes. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Same bad time, same bad channel. For now, though, Brendan and the big kahunas at the big desk.
See you guys.
Hey guys, yeah, welcome back in. Upside we go here for some of these once again. GME trying to bounce right now. We'll get back into that in just 1 second. Quick